get worse every week. Every week, this gets worse.
Because I'm clumsy, and this is terrible. Hello, everybody.
Oh, my God.
How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. And welcome to the show that has more drama than music probably tonight. Music Exposed! Spicy. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm so sorry about the little delay. I had a few technical problems because since I'm not a partner yet, I don't get all the P's. And P's are resolutions and whatever. You don't care. But
So you're saying you need more P in your life.
I need more P in my... I need more P in my life. It's very, very important, for my career and for my Twitch channel and just for Twitch in general. So if I was partner, I would be in good servers. But we are in a good server, so nobody cares. Hi, how are you doing? Today we have a very, 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 very special guest today. Somebody who is everywhere, basically. He's involved in all.
How special?
Very, very.
How special is he?
Very, 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 very,
very.
He's very, very special. I mean, everybody's very, very special, but he is involved in a lot of communities, especially in the Austin show, which is very interesting for all music streamers. And I think we are going to get a lot of interesting things. He is excited, and I think he wants to share a little bit of things with us. So I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
I can't wait to see his thing.
His thing? Yeah, I can't wait to see his thing either. He'll be performing for us, obviously, and then he will talk to us. But yeah, I'm excited, and I don't know what today's episode will be like. It will be different, and yeah. Hi, my name is Sarah Jazz. I am a professional musician. I used to do that full time before I started Twitch, and now I do Twitch and starve myself to death. Isn't that great? Ha! That was a great joke. No.
That's right.
I'm gonna make a bunch of jokes about how I'm a white girl and be extremely inappropriate, like Lily sings. Oh my God, was that bad? That wasn't bad. She's not inappropriate. I'm sorry. My brain is everywhere. Where's your brain? And also, I'm going to sit down now and tell you who the fuck that voice is that is in... It's not a voice in your head. I mean, maybe...
It is.
Maybe it is.
Don't listen to her. I'm a voice in your head. Kill your family.
In a video game. Oh my God. In a video game. Don't get me banned. I'm trying to be partnered here, okay?
Oh, sorry. I forgot. You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Yeah, you're not
right?
supposed... Exactly.
Well, this is why I'm a voice in your head, too. I'm a voice in everyone's head. I'm the collective consciousness, okay?
Very true, very true. You are the big collective consciousness. Anyways, let's sit down and see what the voice looks like. And thank you so much, Warrior, for gifting that sub to 24KBrownMagic. Let's go. Gosh, why am I the clumsiest person on the earth? Like on Earth? On the Earth? On Earth? Like why? Why is that a thing?
I'm enjoying it. Thanks. I like when I appear with no head. I'm enjoying the new clumsier, falling all over the place Sarah Jazz because
it's not new.
It leads. Listen, here's the thing. It leads chat to think that you're drunk or that you might otherwise have problems. And my hope is that this will bring some tabloid attention to the show. The fact that, maybe the National Enquirer will write about it. Why is there no Twitch Enquirer? Like, I need Rags to talk about Sarah Jazz's clear alcohol problems before coming onto the show. And how, silence holds it all together as Sarah Jazz continues her descent down into madness. It's just gonna, it's tough.
And they're gonna make
Where's the story?
They're gonna make a horror game about me, about how my sanity is just vanishing and just have things like viewers and trolls as the general enemy that kills you and shit like that. I'm all for it. Yeah. Somebody make that game, please.
It's that listen, I wasn't trying to swing this into endorsement deals for you. I understand.
We're still trying to get partnered. Don't forget, partnered. Sorry, sponsored.
Can you stop clout chasing for even 1 second on the show? 1 second. You know what? I was talking to Sarah the other night, and we were talking about the lists of people that we follow. Yeah. And Sarah's list of people that she follows is all. I don't think she had one person on her first screen that was under 200 people that they had in their audience. Yeah. Then I was looking at mine, and I'm like, I have 3 people that are even over 100. Yeah. All my people that I follow are 20, 30, all those things. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. This is a new world for me. 24K obviously 24K is fucking unbelievably skilled.
Oh my God, so true.
Skilled.
I can't even.
Like, I mean, and I kind of hate that in his description that I even wrote up, because I write a lot of the descriptions taking directly from people's bios or from looking. Like, I don't use their bios verbatim when we put them up on the website, but he refers to himself as the Austin show or the Raj show's opening screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a reason that man made it to that stage.
Yes.
And has that skill. You know, I feel fortunate a lot of times when I drop in, he's at gig streams and he's doing those types of things.
Yeah.
But I will also say the thing that's exciting for me about today is that he's not a streamer that I've watched a ton. I admit I'm not a person that watches a ton of the larger streamers. I definitely don't watch the talent shows. So I'm excited to hear, you know, I'm just going to ask the direct question when he gets here, because for me, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of these talent shows. And it's not typically my thing. So I want to hear the other side. Like, for me, I'm a person that I'm open. I want to hear the other side, and I want to hear what his view is on what it's done for him and what it's done for other artists and that kind of thing, because it's not my favorite thing. Yeah. And it's thank you, MLG, for noticing. I'm trying to stop that. I said this in a conversation I was having earlier this week. I'm sick of the word talented. All of us need to stop using the word talented.
Yeah, I agree.
To refer to musicians.
Because it so makes it seem like you didn't work for it. Like you were born and all of a sudden you have this amazing talent and like you didn't work for it. Like, you know, it's obviously talent and skill. You obviously have to have some nature for it, but it's a lot of skill and a lot of work that goes. It's auto-tune, guy. It's auto-tune, guys.
24K, can you explain how you auto-tune your face to be so sexy though? Come on.
Oh my God, are you hitting on him now? What is this?
I don't think that's
Why do you
auto-tune,
always hit on our guests? I don't get it. Like, you legit, on all males, you thirst for all males, always.
I'm thirsty AF, okay? You know
you
what?
You need to get laid, dude.
Yeah, well, after Thomas Frank turned me down, you know, I thought Potato Frank might be my best hope. Yeah. Because I have a lot of intimate experience with potatoes. And so I figured that, you know, hey, with all my experience and skills with potatoes, maybe Potato Frank would be interested, but, you know. Yeah. No. No.
Yeah. I mean, Bort kind of accepted.
Listen, Bort's my honey. Yeah. Bort's my sugar bear. Okay, he's my sugar bear, and don't you say any different. Okay. You
haven't even introduced yourself. Who the fuck are you? Even tell us.
I'm the voice in your brain. I'm the voice in your head. Hi, I'm the Silence Noise. I'm also a music streamer here on Twitch. I just released a new EP. Buy my EP. Buy my EP. It's The Twist of a Friendly Knife. It's out right now everywhere. thesilencenoise.com is the easiest place to find it. I do music streams multiple times per week here on Twitch, and I talk about having intimate relations with potatoes as well as mayonnaise now, apparently. Yeah, mayo socks for some reason.
Let's not talk about that. We have a ton of news.
Listen, underslops here. We do. I have a topic that I've wanted to discuss with you, because you know, this isn't a topic that's important to you. It's important to your clout.
My clout.
It's clearly on your mind tonight. So I don't know if you've been following the tweeters have you been on the tweeters? You've been on social media?
I'm on the tweeters all the time, but lately I didn't have time for anything. But I don't have time for anything lately. So I don't know.
You've been missing the big news, Sarah.
What is the big news?
You've been missing big news about what's happening this month, and it might dramatically impact your income, because
my income is already fucked.
Your income. Well, listen, let me finish my point before you start complaining, okay? Let me get through my point. Now, here's the thing. It is Slut-tember, which we talk about to everybody, and Slut-tember is super confusing and disappointing. But along with Slut-tember this month, for those of you who don't know what Slut-tember is, there's a discount on first-time Twitch subs, and then there's a labyrinth of incentives to get like 12% off of a subscription, which maybe you can get, whatever. But you have to like jump through hoops and call someone that lives in Asia and like, you know, talk to them, and they'll tell you about George, and then George gives you a code, and that's how you get $1 off subscriptions. That's how Slut-tember works. So anyway, there's another thing that's come up, and it's called No Simp-tember. No Simp-tember. Yeah. To go along with that. And so, you know, obviously, Sarah, as someone, I know you hate the word, but let's just be real.
I hate the word simp,
I know you hate the word simp. Andy!
Thank you so much for the raid! Guys, everybody go follow Andy the Frenchie. She's amazing. Behold the nonsense. Oh, nonsense. Oh, that's an N. I could not. I'm sorry. Behold the nonsense queen. I'm so happy they are doing this rate call instead of do 10 jumping jacks
your text to speech is really off today. So Andy, this really is important to you as well. So let me recap. So along with Sluttember, aka September, that's happening where you whore yourself out to your favorite streamer for cheaper than usual.
They want 10 jumping jacks. I'm sorry.
I don't care. Right now, it's Music Exposed, guys. It's Music Exposed. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Let's do it.
I have terrible shorts on, so I'm not doing them on camera.
Also, like, how do you do? Like, do you do this? Do you do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm done.
Yes, I'm done.
I like how nobody saw it. Yours. People are probably just staring at my boobs.
Listen, my shorts are fucking terrible today because it's 7 million degrees in my office, so I'm just like, whatever.
Are you wearing...
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
So, well, listen, I don't want to show off my thong for Sugar Baby
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay?
Like, don't get me banned, please.
Listen, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
It's not that. So it's no September.
Yes.
And I just want to know your thoughts on this because as someone that obviously... Listen, I have a lot of simps, okay? I know.
You do. That's very true. You have more simps than me, actually. It's actually disgusting.
Well, but so how afraid are you for your income at this point?
Very.
You know, Andy, I'm sure is very afraid.
I'm shaking in my flip-flop socks.
Flip-flop socks? What does that mean?
Yeah, I always wear. Look, I wear socks with flip-flops.
Thanks, Andy.
It's very pretty.
This is just an excuse. This was just an excuse for you to show your feet on stream, wasn't it?
Yes.
This was just an excuse for that.
Yeah. Always,
Listen,
you know it.
If you're participating in No September out there, I mean, at this point, obviously you're feeling the temptation to donate. You're obviously feeling the temptation to donate to Music Exposed right now. And listen, we want you to stay strong, my celibate warriors. We want you to stay away from simping to sexy streamers like me and sometimes Sarah.
Yeah.
You know, but mostly me.
Yeah.
How tell me why you're worried. Why are you worried about what this might do to your revenue and your income?
What exactly? Oh,
no September.
Medium. Listen, first of all, I think you're wrong because maybe not even last year it was Sluttember. I know you made Sluttember last year, but even last year it wasn't even Sluttember. It was Sluttember like 2 years ago. Okay.
Well, listen,
now it's maybe escort timber. It's like maybe escort timber because it's not that cheap anymore, and that's why people are complaining because it's not Sluttember anymore. You want it to be Sluttember, but it's not, and Twitter and every streamer is very upset about that.
Yeah. Well, but what happens? What is the experience of being on your stream when the simping ends? Like this almost sounds like a poetry, like it sounds like a poem, an E. Cummings poem. When the simping ends, there's nothing but darkness.
Sorry.
Oh my God, Slongo, thank you so much for them biddies.
Thank you so much for
4,000
biddies. What are you doing?
Slongo!
Oh my God, thank you so much. Slongo.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Yeah, he just failed the September. You're failing the September, Slongo. Thank you so much for 4,000 bits.
So what is Sarah Jazz's chat like without simps?
Oh my God,
Sarah?
Shut the fuck up,
I need to understand this. Help me understand.
I don't care.
What
I'm
happens
a simp
in your
just
life and in your
despite
chat
it all.
when the simps have left the building?
I don't have simps. Also, simp for Sarah. Just donate 10 euros.
See, I don't have any simps. The simp donation comes in. Okay.
That was
I see how it
fucking
is.
perfect. Whoever did that, I love you. You're amazing.
Great timing.
Great timing.
Great timing.
Yes.
Also, keep in mind, Mr. Simp for Sarah, if you're tipping on Music Exposed, that you're simping for us both.
Yeah, obviously.
We split all the proceeds from Music Exposed.
They know that. Well, that's why they're donating more now than normally.
You know what, Sarah? Maybe people realize. Maybe people are new. Maybe there's some people in this chat that have never watched this show before or listened to this podcast for the first time. So why do you have to assume and cut me off when I'm saying like, hey guys, we split everything? And she's like, no, they already know that. They already know that we split everything.
Yeah, they know everything. They know everything because they're the all-knowing. Are you assuming that people are stupid who watch us? Are you saying that right now?
Well, yes.
Rude.
I mean, if you're watching anything with me involved in it, you probably are suffering from some brain damage every time that I'm on the stream. You know, it's just like things happen. I talk about Mayo socks. You talk about how your cellulite shields. Like it's just like all these things that they're important. Yeah. So again, tell me what is a life like without simps for Sarah? What does your life become? Like, walk us through a day in the Sarah Jazz stream with no simps during September.
So I wake up, right?
Okay,
I wake up.
You wake up.
I get in pose for my pictures, you know.
Okay.
So I can like post sexy Instagram pictures.
Wait, but who's your photographer? You clearly don't do it yourself. Who's your photographer?
No, it is me. I just have my help. Adam, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Thank you.
Yes.
I obviously have a photographer. It's called my coffee mug. Like I lean the phone against the coffee mug. So that's what we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I don't know. I drink my coffee. I post on Instagram and Twitter. And then I stream, and then I post some more selfies.
Does the stream have anything happening? Are there
nothing?
Any viewers for that stream?
I'm a boring streamer. I don't do anything on my streams. My streams are basically just chatting, with cleavage, and obviously.
So you talk. So if you're just chatting with cleavage, does that mean you're like looking down at your boobs and you're like,
I'm talking
cleavage.
I'm talking to my boobs.
Today, cleavage.
Yeah, I'm talking to my boobs. That's what I do. And that's basically it. I don't do anything. I don't have any talents.
Do your boobs ever talk back?
Yeah, sometimes.
That's a scary.
But I don't know if it has anything to do with sometimes me just drinking a lot. I don't know if that's like they only talk when they're drunk.
Clearly, we've discussed your horrible drinking problem that's ravaging everyone.
Yeah.
Twitch Inquirer, please pick up the story. We need tabloid pickup to get ratings, okay, guys? Please, Twitch. Please, Twitch Inquirer.
Where's Andy? We need her to plead to Twitch. Please, Twitch.
Pay attention to us.
Pay attention, please. Notice us, please.
Yes.
Also,
that's true.
listen. I have a very, very, very important topic today, and I want to talk about this to. She had to leave. That's fine. But I have a very important thing to talk.
Listen, are you saying that no September isn't important? Are you just brushing off my important topic that I prepared for this week? Okay.
Wait, you prepared for this show?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say I don't.
I didn't even put on shorts that would be presentable to be on screen.
So true. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, people don't understand. I try to bring this up. We are in the middle of a horrible, horrible heat wave in California right now, and it is
the
hottest. It is probably the hottest that it has been up here all year right now outside. And since I live in the mountains, there are no air conditioners in most buildings that you're in unless you're in major places. So my studio is generally about 100 degrees, maybe more than that, but it's generally when the lights are on, it's about 100 degrees.
Terrible.
In fact, a lot of times on stream, like people are like, why is Silence like rubbing and, messing with himself? It's because I'm trying to keep sweat from being on my face when I'm on stream. It's really kind of disgusting at this point, okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, tell me about your important topic.
My important topic.
Sweating is
yesterday.
Important, okay?
Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
God.
We got an email by Twitch, and we will touch on this with 24K with AJ. But Twitch is going to cancel or like disable or stop Twitch Sings on January 1st. Yeah. So I think this is important because I think maybe some of you didn't know that. Or you already knew. But what are your thoughts on this, Silence? Tell me.
Well, I spent about 4 hours ranting about the music industry and all this on my stream yesterday, so there's a lot of that. If you don't follow me, twitch.tv/silencenoise, I was talking about it. I really am a believer, and I brought this up before, that Twitch has obviously started to move in a more mainstream direction with their music offerings and how they're treating music. I think a lot of people and a lot of streamers are incredibly naive to believe what they're thinking at this point. They're incredibly naive to believe that at some point there's going to be some sort of favorable licensing scheme or favorable ability. Because if you think about it, if you really step back and you think about it logically, and you look at YouTube, which YouTube is many, many orders of magnitude bigger than Twitch.
Yeah.
And YouTube deals with copyright in a way that is so horrible that most people spend every day on the internet complaining about it. And they have way more resources and way more revenue and way more dealing with it than Twitch does.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And especially with our political situation in the United States, I don't want to get too deep into that and everything. I just don't know why people think favorable things are going to happen. And I think what happened to Twitch Sings is a piece of that larger picture of Twitch realizes if they're going to build out this music category, you know, they're hiring industry people. Most of the team that they've hired over the past few months have been from Spotify, from other aspects of the music industry. That means they have experience, but it also means that they have experience more in the traditional music industry, especially when it comes to Spotify, which Spotify is known for being terrible for a lot of artists. Yes, I understand a lot of artists will argue the point that there's discovery and you didn't have platforms and things like this before, but it's all predicated on a belief that music doesn't have value and that artists don't deserve to be paid, and it's the business that has value and Spotify that has value. And I think I think Twitch Sings is just a casualty of that. At this point, I think they're making moves in a different direction. I think Twitch Sings is a very small fish. It's a very small fish in the greater sea of what they have planned for music, of bringing major artists to the platform, of really focusing on a more mainstream approach to bring attention to music. And so I just think it's a drop in the bucket for them. And I don't think really anything anyone's going to say is going to change that, because why pay for the licensing? Why should they have to pay for the licensing when so many of us are willing to put on all of our time and all of our money and write our music and then come pay half to give them our music, basically to give them our music and our performances? Yes, they give us a platform, don't get me wrong, but why would they continue to pay for that? They don't have to. If they can just get the artist that performs that song to come do a concert and do those types of things on Twitch, why do they need the random karaoke streamer that is singing that song when they can have Taylor Swift or whatever? You get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I like what Thomas Frank said, though. The traditional music industry doesn't work anymore with the current state of everything. The music industry needs to change ASAP, and I agree with that. I agree with that.
But that's, again, that's a fallacy, and that's the issue.
Yeah, I don't know if...
To me, it's a fallacy that the current industry doesn't work, because the current industry is making billions of dollars.
It is, but it's not working for the artists. So the artists are,
when has it ever worked for the artist?
Never.
When has the artist ever received the benefit of their work?
Yeah, never.
And this is the problem. We talked about this before. It's like, the problem is that musicians are their own worst enemy. A lot of them buy into the hype that what they do doesn't have value, and they need this big system, and they can't promote themselves, and they can't self-promote. But there's we talked about this on a previous episode. I can't remember who referenced it, and I went and read the article. The industry is making the money, but not the artist. That is what needs to change. Why? The industry doesn't feel that way. And look, I'm debating. I'm an artist, and I'm someone that believes you should be independent all the way. Like, I think signing to a label or signing any of these restrictive deals, and this is just my opinion. You can have a different opinion, and I'm fine with that. But the industry is doing just fine. Spotify is doing just fine. Twitch is doing, not great, but just fine. They'll give you the story all day long that they're, we're barely making it by and we're barely profitable and yada yada yada. But we all know that's not true. So the industry's fine. They don't feel the need to pay the artist. Why would suddenly someone become benevolent? And that's the issue. The biggest problem with the industry is this. The people in the industry are good people. Yeah. The people hired to the Twitch music team, like Tracy and Athena and those people, as individuals, they are good people. They want to support the artists they like. They spend all day immersed in music and working with people. People that work for record labels in general as individuals are good people that want to, they're not sitting around like, oh man, how can I reach into this artist's pocket and take $10 out of it? But I used an example on my stream, and I'll use it here, because it's my favorite example of what generally happens to artists, especially what happens to artists on major labels. I want you to imagine for a second that you are walking down the street and someone approaches you and they say, hey, I know that you're a musician. I know that you're an artist. I'd love for you to have dinner with me. And then they said, you know what? I will give you $10. And they hand you $10 to say, all right, you're going to come have dinner with me. So you go to a restaurant, all right? You sit down in a chair. It's a fancy restaurant. It's the fanciest restaurant you've ever been to in your life as a musician who's used to eating Pop-Tarts and hot dogs for dinner because you don't have money. You're sleeping on basement floors. You got $10 finally. They sit you down in the restaurant, in the fancy restaurant. They pick up the menu. They don't even hand you the menu. The person that invites you, they pick up the menu, they look at it, they order you the most expensive and exotic thing on the menu. It's $100, let's say. They order you a $100 dinner. Then they order the same things for themselves. They say, all right, I want a $100 dinner as well. So now we're up to $200. And they say, great, and you have this wonderful dinner, you have this great dinner, and then they just get up and leave, and you have to pay the entire $200 check. That's how artists get treated.
Yeah.
That's what the music industry is.
Yeah.
If anyone thinks that Twitch is going to behave any differently as an organization, they're not.
Yeah.
The people will. Athena,
yeah.
Tracy, all those people, but the industry won't. They just won't.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes and what they have actually planned. And I hope that they listen to artists and to the musicians on the platform where that are, at least a little bit experienced in this. I'm also a little bit experienced with labels and big labels and what happens where and when. So
would you agree with the point that I just made then? Do you feel like that's how the current industry
Yeah,
works,
100%. It's all about making money. Like there was never another. Like, the music is the product, and it doesn't even have to have quality, which obviously we know. It's not even about quality. It's just about making money. And that's obviously everybody knows that, and everybody in the industry knows that.
And it's
but it
because
has
the
always
artist
been like that.
Well, and you as the artists are supporting people that aren't actually involved in the music industry. Like, you as the artist, you're supporting marketing professionals, you're supporting publicists, you're supporting other people that may or may not have any investment at all in the creative product. They're just people that are there doing that. So,
and there's a lot of people, like you said, like there's a lot of people who believe in the whole in the supporting and loving and just being there, and most people that work in labels in this industry, like you said, are good people who just want to help and just want people to success and thrive and everything. But the very end of it is obviously that it's all about money.
But if you want to look at right now, to speak to that point, if you want to look at that right now and say, if you want to know how much the world cares about creative professionals right now, you can see what's happened to the entertainment industry as a result of COVID.
Yeah.
Again, my sister is a professional in that industry. And I'm not just talking about the musicians. I'm talking about the professionals. Darth Rips, thanks so much for that
Thank
sub.
you so much,
I
Warrior,
appreciate
for gifting that sub to Darth Rips. Thank you.
Oh, it came from Warrior.
Yeah.
Sorry, I only saw Darth.
Thank you.
But you see right now, it's to the point where venues this week, I don't know if you saw this story. It was a really interesting story that a lot of venues did, they lit up red in support. Buildings were lit up red in certain theaters and clubs and all these places. Again, 3D Code Warrior, thanks for that gift, Medic.
Obrigado, beijinhos.
But a lot of businesses in the U.S. they turned all their lights to red to indicate support that the act to save the entertainment industry should be passed in the government here. People care about the entertainment industry so little that there have to be demonstrations for people to support artists and support stage techs and lighting professionals and club venue owners. That's how little people care.
Yeah.
Everyone loves to spout the bullshit that it's a glamorous industry and
not.
it's so elegant.
It's not.
You get to live your dream, and it's like,
No.
You know what living your dream is like? And Sarah, I tell me, you know what, Sarah, I'm going to ask you this.
Yeah.
Living the dream. Tell me your worst tour story, like your most embarrassing, like something terrible you had to do on tour. Like, I've heard so many. I'll tell you one that I've heard, but tell me yours.
I don't know. There's a lot of stories from like.
Well, give one. Tell one.
But I'm very lucky. I have to say this first. I'm very lucky because I didn't have to scrape from the very bottom. Like, I didn't have to start as this person who is just, playing with a bunch of noobs. Like, I went into a band.
Stop being wholesome. Stop being wholesome. Tell a shitty story.
I'm sorry.
Like, I had to pee in the worst bathroom I've ever been in my life. Like, you've got a shitty story. Stop giving them. This is the problem. They're going to go, well, Sarah clearly had a good life and she was lucky and she didn't have to start from the bottom. So clearly she never suffered or struggled at all. She just gets to play music all day and has the greatest life. Okay.
I'm just saying, I didn't have like the horrible stories of like the venue not wanting to pay or something. I mean, that happened where like the venue is like, oh, you're only getting a piece of it, or like a little portion of it because we, something didn't work the way they wanted or something. But there's so many stories.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You have a terrible story.
No, there's so many stories. There's like stories from having to perform in the shittiest place without even a backstage where you couldn't even change or anything, which isn't horrible. That's not horrible. Or like the venuer, like
okay, wait, stop. Sorry to interrupt. Okay, so imagine this, chat. Imagine this. I want to focus in on that story. Imagine you had to go to work. And you work in an office, you're an accountant, and you have to walk into the office and they say, you know what, you're not dressed acceptably for your accounting job. There's no back room though. You're just gonna have to change right here to sit at your desk. You know, you're just gonna have to change right here. Would anyone accept that? Yeah, I know how you're saying it's not that bad because you've heard the level of shit that musicians have to deal with, that you don't get a dressing room. But who else has to deal with that? Does an accountant have to deal with that?
That's true. I mean, it happens from everything. From like, obviously I've been treated like shit because I'm the musician, you know, where it's like, oh, you don't get where the people just ignore you. It's like, you know, if it's a festival or something, or if it's a bar or something, and they don't service you because they're like, oh, you can get your shit on your own, you know what I mean? And they're rude to you, and you know, just in general, rude people, and just like, oh, these people are here just to, you know, to do whatever. And that's all shit that happens. And obviously things also, like, for example, being a hot summer day and the venue are turning up the heating underneath the stage, so everybody starts to sweat and obviously buy more drinks. And if the heating is underneath the stage, you're dying. Like, you're as the fucking musicians, you're dying.
I feel like Sarah is holding back. So let me tell you, I feel like you're holding back. I feel you have worse stories. I'm going to be honest with you, because let me tell you a story. I have good friends that are in a touring band that tour all over the place. They're basically, they book their own tours and they do those things. Let me tell you a little bit about what their life is on tour. First of all, they live on the West Coast and they tour all over the country.
Yeah.
So generally their tour begins by hopping into a van and driving 36 hours across the country to do those things on very little sleep. No, but listen, this is the thing. Like, I know you're just saying because this is your life, but this is, most
just
people don't realize
this is what happens. Just a little support at a discount, Saraja, one
Galactic.
heart, Saraja, one heart, Saraja, one heart.
Thank you so much, Galactic.
They have to set up their show. They have to set up their own gear. If they're lucky to have techs, but they're normally not big enough to have techs. They're setting up their own gear, you know, at 3 p.m. at the venue. They're going in the venue. Like you said, there's no backstage area. There's terrible bathrooms. So if anyone needs to change, if anyone needs to eat, if anyone needs to go to the bathroom, a lot of these venues are infested with roaches. They're not cleaned out. There's bugs. There's all those types of things. So they're going into that venue, and that's where they get to sit. They can either stand outside in the piss-soaked alley, or they can sit in the room with the roaches and the bugs and do that kind of thing. They play their show to 100 people. The promoter argues with them out of those things.
Yeah.
They play their show at that night. They get in the car, they load everything up, and they get in the car about 2 a.m. to head out to the next destination, because they don't get to stop. They got a show the next day in the next market. They're driving all night from 2 a.m. until the next venue. If they're going to eat, they're eating shitty gas station food and stopping at shitty gas station bathrooms to get to the next part. And they're doing that for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
This is the glamorous life of touring.
It is.
And
it is.
That's the problem. Most people don't realize, because most people don't talk about it enough. Like, and that's why I was kind of pushing on you. Like, you've lived that life. I guarantee you've had to, you know, be on the road at 2 a.m. to drive to the next venue for 6 and get 3 hours of sleep and set up.
One of the things that one of the things that are very important to touring, and that's like the thing that is the thing that you have to understand as a touring musician. When you go on a tour, the first most important thing is get rest. Like, get your rest. I know it's like, because the thing is, you drive for like 10 hours to a gig, for example, right? You drive 10 hours, it's traffic, you're just in a van, you know, obviously you're taking naps in the van and stuff, stopping at gas stations to get like something to snack on or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you arrive, then you have to do the sound check, you have to talk to the venuer, then you check into the hotel, and then you just check in. Or sometimes you don't even have time to check in, so you check in in the middle of the night, like after, or sometimes they will forget to give you, because you didn't check in at the right time, they will forget to give you the keys, and then you don't know where the keys are, so you sleep in the van or something.
Exactly.
And,
yeah, but Sarah, you've never had it that hard, right?
No,
listen to your
it's
story
just
right now.
normal. It's just how it is. It's just normal. And then after that, okay, wait. Okay. So you play the gig. You play the gig. The gig goes longer as usual, obviously, because people would encore and whatever. And then after that, you talk to people. You sign CDs. You sell CDs. You sign T-shirts or whatever. Like, people talk to you. They're like, oh my god, it's cool. And then after that, you have to also disassembly everything, because the next day you have a gig in a place that is like 5 hours away, for example, right? So you disassembly everything. You're kind of done disassembling and talking and getting out of the place at like 2 a.m. Then you also want to have like a little drink with your band members and be like, okay, so what are we doing today? What are we doing tomorrow? Like, how did the gig work today? You know, you don't have to do this much when you're very much in routine, but there's always a conversation before bed. So you basically get to bed at, let's say, 4 or 5 a.m. And then you have to wake up at 9 again, because you need to get ready, have breakfast, and drive to the next location, and then it starts all over again. And this for like a week or two on end.
Bazzy has the greatest point that he said in chat. Sarah be like, get rest, and then you're describing a day where you get 2 hours of sleep, basically, if you're lucky.
And that's very important, because you do this.
But why do you keep saying, but let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question, because it's funny, because sometimes I believe, and I believe this is true, that artists are their own worst enemy. Why is that the way? Why does that have to be the way it is? Like you just said, that's the way it. Why?
It doesn't have to be the way it is, but you also have to think one thing. This is not only one thing that we as artists like to forget, and I always tell this to the musicians who are like, oh, this is so terrible, blah blah, like, why are these conditions, and then the pay isn't the best. And it's like, sometimes, listen, one thing is being a big artist and having made it, and everybody taking care of those things, but these are also small people. Like, these bars are owned by small people. These are people who are very most of the time, it's people who are very passionate about having their restaurant or their bar or their concert place or whatever. They're very passionate, and they don't have a lot of money. Like, legit, I know they don't have. There are a lot that don't, especially those that you were talking about, like the one with like the roaches and whatever and things like that, where they actually, like, they try really hard. They try, but they just don't have the means for it. But they still want to contribute to the whole, live music and giving live music. The problem is that people don't pay a lot for live music anymore. Like, that is a problem.
Why is that changed? Why is that changed?
I don't know. I think it's because it's overrun, probably. And
it's because of exactly what you're describing. No one believes there's any value in it. You're saying that you don't think that you're valuable enough to be paid by a good venue. You don't think the venue should make money off that live music, and you don't think people should pay for it. Is that what you're saying? Like, I think the problem is the whole model's broken from what you're describing. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I'm just saying you have to think about these things. And I'm not saying that Mr. Pax. Wait, Mr. Pax is saying you have to defend your job. If they don't have money, don't hire you. I never. No. Listen. First of all, I never accepted an underpaid job. I am a very big defender of, if you accept paid gigs, accept good paid gigs, because if you accept gigs that are poorly paid, you're contributing to professionals or just people who live from it having to play and to perform for like $50 a man or something, which is fucking incredibly terrible. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we have to look at both sides. We have to look, when it comes to like these, we're all the little man. That's the thing. Like, this is like, we are all the little man in this. No, like, this is all.
Who is the little man? Who is
the
saying
musicians?
Why would you buy into the fallacy that it doesn't have value, and that we're all little men, and that this skill and this art that you put all this time in doesn't make money for the venue, and that they're somehow victimized? Of course you should think of them and bring your skill and bring, like, you know what you're doing? This is the fucking bullshit of it. And I'm sorry to be this blunt about it, but the fucking bullshit of it is acting like your skill enough and your music enough and the years of practice. When you show up, you put 100% of that gig, don't you? 100% of you. You are being hired to show up and do what you do. You are not being showed up to be empathetic to a fucking venue owner who can promote for themselves, successfully run a business, do those things on their own. Yeah, if you show up and you play like shit and you have a bad show, or you don't promote when you say that you're supposed to promote, or you're doing those things, I might cry a little bit for a venue owner. But other than fucking that, it's your job if you want to host live music to promote the place and bring money into your venue. And the music is worth it, because I don't believe this bullshit lie
I agree.
that's fed to us by the music industry at all.
I agree.
I agree. And I agree. I don't know. I don't believe this lie that these things aren't valuable and people don't want to pay for them, because we all stream on Twitch. We'll talk to 24K. Yeah. There's plenty of value for us on Twitch. Like, we make money. Some people, in fact, I would argue a lot of people make more money on Twitch than they could make playing gigs or in person. 100%. And a lot of people who play on Twitch would not be able to play at all, myself included. I wouldn't be able to play venue shows before Twitch. I might be able to now, but it wouldn't be great. But I wouldn't even be able to make money off my music if I didn't have something like Twitch. So, and I know you agree. It's more of a, like, I'm just okay. It's that
just
sabotage.
one thing, because chat is like, oh, I disagree, Sarah, and whatever. I'm just being devil's advocate. Listen, just because I'm pointing out that there's two sides to everything doesn't mean that that's my opinion and that's how I run my job. I was a very successful jazz musician, okay? I did not play gigs that were underpaid. I legit did not. I legit not. And nowadays, like, if you don't accept my price, you want to negotiate a little bit, I will negotiate a little bit. But I will not negotiate to a point where as a band leader, I don't want to be stopped or like after the gig, like after 3 hours of playing and sweating and also playing plus a sound check, arriving, all those things, having put in work for the set list before. Wait.
No, I'm asking you a question about that. How many hours total? How many hours is it per show? Like, if you had to put all that work into hours, it's 3 hour show, set list, how many hours is that? Total.
I mean, for a band leader, 10. It's more hours than for the musicians, because as a band leader, you also like...
How many hours? 8, 10, 12,
I don't know. If you have like an hour of... You also have to practice at the same time. You have to choose the set list, which is like probably like 30 minutes, I would say, or an hour, depending on like... Oh, what is this venue? You know, you research the venue, you see what type of venue is this? What are the people that are there and stuff like that? So what is the set list that I'm going to do? So that's like half an hour, maybe even. Sometimes you even do the set list before. But if you're hiring musicians that are not all in a band, if you're hiring session musicians or musicians that you have worked with before, but it's not a set band, then you obviously have to get the sheet music.
Hey, Sarah, I'm saying this as your friend. Like, how many hours? Give me an hour.
I don't know. Like, probably
hours? 20, 25,
probably,
50?
Yeah.
How many hours
probably,
per gig?
Per gig, like, probably, let's say 10 to 20. Yeah.
Per show.
Yeah.
At least. And that's not even, and that's probably still not factoring in, like, you scheduling the tour and, like you said, rehearsal and all that. But let's just say 10 to 20 hours a gig.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking that is I think that it's helpful to the chat.
Yeah.
Like, to realize that the glamorous life myth that everyone is fed about musicians, you're working, how many hours does the accountant work in a day? 8 to 5, and then they're going home and they have a lunch break. As a musician, you don't get that. You're eating a cold gas station sandwich on a milk crate in a closet because they don't have a room for you, and you're working 20 hours a show, and that's not enough. You should be grateful, fucking stupid musician.
Yeah, no,
you should be grateful.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, and I was never like grateful for not well-paid gigs. Actually, I am somebody who wants to, and this is obviously wrong, but I want to, if I'm a band leader, I want to pay my musicians fairly. Like, I want to be able to pay them good money for the hours they put in, and depending also like how long is the gig, how much did I ask of them, like did I ask like things that are very complicated or not, and I would actually get less I would actually like cut back from my pay to be able to pay them fairly, because I hate that. I hate that for you. Yeah, I know, but that's what I used to do. Nowadays I don't do that anymore. I'm like I get like I will get more because obviously I got the gig.
Is this why you don't play shows anymore?
No, like this is.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm making a joke.
No, I don't. Oh my god, this is so fucking busy. But it's just I don't.
No, and I'm saying this because I know we agree. Like, there's a term that I joke about a lot, and Sarah and I right now are in violent agreement. But even you, as you're talking, there's a term. I love that term. We're in violent agreement. We actually agree with each other's point, and we're just having a heated discussion because that's what we do on this show, and it's who we are on this show to have these discussions and to talk about these artist issues. Because even some of the language you were using is where I kind of go like, yeah, it's not that it's a mutually beneficial ecosystem for us for the venue and for the musician and for the artist. And what's happened over the years, and I'm sure that you would agree, even though you like, I come from a family of professional musicians where a lot of them have been gigging for 40 or 50 years. Yeah. And they have even made it clear that it has changed. What has changed is a lot of these businesses, live music venues, restaurants, concert venues, have shifted all this blame onto the artist. And they've said the artist gets the good life. The artist is the person that gets to play the show and have sex with the groupies and whatever they're in their mind the music is. They get to party on stage. Like, nobody believes that it's a job.
Yeah,
nobody believes that it's a job.
That's the big problem. And also, you're right. Things, I don't know how it was in America, but live music used to pay really good. Like, it used to be like, you used to make thousands. Like off a tour, like in the 80s, if you had a tour with your band, like a week, you would make thousands, like per person, like like legit thousands, and be like, oh, I'm gonna.
That's exactly.
And that even for bands who are just medium bands, or like bands that are kind of smallish. True. And nowadays, from a week's worth of a tour, you make what? Maybe a week you make per person, if you have a good tour, like a well-paid one, you make what? Maybe $2,000 per person, and that's like a really well-paid tour. Thank you so much, obrigado. Thank you so much. You should all work on a heavy-duty factory to learn about life, you musicians.
You should all work on a heavy-duty factory to learn about life, you musicians.
Because I'm coming right at that. You wanted me hot, I'm fucking hot. Fuck you. Because most of these fucking musicians work in shitty jobs like that too. Yes. So when you are not on tour, you're serving, you're waitressing, you're working in a bar, you're bartending, you're pushing grocery carts. All of my friends in that mid-level touring band that I'm talking to you about have shitty jobs when they're back home because they need to be able to pay rent and bills like everybody else. And everyone tells them that their musician life is so fucking glamorous. And they write so much of my favorite music. They are an amazing band. They're incredible. They do all these incredible things. And my buddy works at a fucking brewery to be able to pay the bills. And the reason he works there is because he can leave and come back. It's one of the only jobs that has the flexibility for him to be able to go on tour. So he makes beer and serves beer when he's at home. Glamorous as fuck, right?
Yeah.
That's the glamorous musician life because of exactly what you described. And speaking to your point, as I said, my uncle is an extremely accomplished jazz musician who used to make a living off of touring and gigging, and he probably still could fight for it and do it, but most people I know have turned away from it because, like you said, it's dried up.
Yeah.
And it's all because of, now it's to the point where venues are trying to get artists to pay them to play. It's gotten so bad that it went from you could have a middle-class lifestyle. We're not talking about being rich. We're not talking about Taylor Swift. You could be a middle-class musician.
Existence. Thank you so much for the sub. Sorry.
That made a good living, that could have a nice house, that could have a family and live the dream as a musician. That used to be possible. It's not possible anymore. It's really not.
I mean, you have to sacrifice a little. You do have to sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay, so you have to sacrifice. Why? Why should you have to do that? That's the issue.
Because the stigma is musicians don't work. Artists don't work. It's not work because it's fun. Because I am at home. When I play at home my fucking keyboard or e-piano like a 5-year-old, although like 5-year-olds, sometimes play way better. Thank you so much, Warrior, for gifting that up to the Fantastic Plastics. It is fun for me because, I work a normal job. I'm a fucking, a doctor or lawyer or whatever, and that's my job, and that's difficult. But when I'm at home and I press a few e-piano keys or something, that's fun for me, so it must be fun for you. You know, on stage, you're just living your dream, and I don't want you to. The thing is, you know what the core problem is? The core problem of it all is people being jealous that they have a job that they hate and you have a job that you love. And every job, it doesn't matter if you love your job or you don't.
Who loves that about touring?
No, but wait, let me just finish. Let me just finish. But anyway, regardless, if you love your job or if you don't, you still have shitty days or good days. It doesn't matter.
That's bullshit.
What?
You have a job that you love? What musicians love the touring life? What musicians are like, man,
the
I
music,
wish I could...
Legit the music. When you are on stage, you forget about all those things.
Yeah, no, you not necessarily. If you're on the tail end of a tour that you've been doing this for 6 weeks and that's the life that you've been living, and you're on the tail end of a tour, sure, you're gonna get on stage and you love that part of it. And I'm sure the accountant loves the 30 minutes of crunching the spreadsheet at his job, and that's okay. You know, and that should be okay. That should be acceptable. I don't agree with that at all. Why should that be okay?
No, I'm not saying it's okay.
Why do people accept it?
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just.
But why are you saying that people love the job? Because they don't. That's
no,
the thing,
they don't love the job itself, but there is a lot that it goes into. No, the
language is important. You keep saying they love it.
No, they love it because they love making music. It doesn't matter if I am at a shitty job though. Obviously, if I play at a shitty venue and it's like not well paid or anything, then obviously I will not play the same way. But what happens on stage, like normally all musicians are hopefully in the midst of, you know, getting into the music and stuff. You know what I mean? Like most of the time it's like that. Sometimes it gets to you.
I just think it's a stretch. I think it's a stretch. And listen, I think you are doing what you have to do to survive. Yeah. I agree with what you're thinking. Your way of thinking is the optimistic perspective of saying, well, since I love this 2 hours of gigging amidst this 20 hours of shit that I have to deal with, the job is worthwhile. And that is the whole reason that everyone could sit out there and criticize, because you're defending the 20 hours of shit. And I know I'm coming at it hard and we agree about these things, but you can't be like, oh, music is a glamorous job.
No, that's not it. I never said that. I never said it's a glamorous job.
You said that it's a job that people love. Okay, your words were you said it was a job that people love, right?
Yeah, that's not glamorous though. You can love something that is not glamorous. What are you talking about?
Okay, so they love the 18 to 20 hours of bullshit they have to deal with for the 2 hours.
No, obviously not. But that's what I'm saying. Like when you are on stage with your musicians.
Then why are you saying they love their job? You're contradicting yourself.
I'm not because in the end, I'm getting annoyed now.
You're contradicting yourself.
It doesn't matter. I think AJ can actually, as a touring musician, because this is I want to have AJ's opinion on this too, by the way, because he's also a touring musician. He like makes money off of music. But first of all, before we do that, we're gonna have him play a few songs for us. Just like always, you know, I'm so excited for this fucking interview. I'm so excited. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you 24K Brown Magic. Let's go.
The way she said 24K Brown Magic. I like that. You do that again. We're just gonna do a couple acoustic songs. Originals, by the way. Just something special, like the way sunlight bounces off the skies, and the way the bar lights reflecting off your eyes. Baby, you got me hypnotized. We move at the same tempo. When I hold your hand, I feel our heartbeats patter. When our lips collide, I feel our heartbeats scatter. When it's you and me, ain't nothing else that matters. That matters. 'Cause your heart's like summer sun. Once it gets my gift, And you're cool just like a winter breeze that's pressed against my skin. You got a smile that keeps on shining. Yeah, you're brightening up my day. And out of nowhere you came and hit me like a drug. You took my breath away. You took my breath away. Just something different. When you come around, you leave me feeling speechless. A little sad, but a little bit more sweetness. Do you even realize that you're my weakness? My weakness. 'Cause your heart's like a summer sun that I love to feel again. And you're cool just like a winter breeze that's pressed against my skin. You got a smile that keeps on shining. Yeah, you brighten up my day. And out of nowhere you came and hit me like a drug. And you took my breath away. Just like a song that's playing on the radio. You make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise. You're something different. When you come around, you got me leaping speechless. A little sass and a little bit more sweetness. Do you even realize that you're my weakness? My weakness. 'Cause your heart's like a summer sun that I love to feel again. And you're cool just like a winter breeze that's pressed against my skin. You got a smile that keeps on shining. Yeah, you brighten up my day. And out of nowhere you came and hit me like a drug. You took my breath away. You took my breath away. Sweetness, you took my breath away. Yeah. Another night I can't sleep because you're on my mind. Another try, I feel weak. Don't wanna close my eyes. Cause the taste of your kiss is numbing to my lips. You got me going crazy. And when I finally close my eyes, I know it's not goodbye. What was I thinking? Only call when I'm drinking. Know what I'm needing. You're the favorite kind of girl. You show up in your gleaming. You get my heart beating. That's part of my evening. You're my favorite kind of girl. Pearl. Another day I've slept away. Don't wanna try again. I'm awake, I pour another drink. I can still smell your scent. But then I know what happens next. 2 more bottles, I'm a mess. Now I'm thinking about you, baby. Then you put me in a better place. All I need is a little taste. What was I thinking? Only call when I'm drinking. Know what I'm needing. You're a different kind of girl. You show up in your gleaming. You get my heart beating. It's part of my evening. You're my favorite kind of girl. Trouble, but you have your ways. When I'm with you, I feel fucking crazy. You're the second wind to my dying night. I need you for the night, for the night. What was I thinking? Only call when I'm drinking. You know what I'm needing. You're a different kind of girl. What was I thinking? Only call when I'm drinking. You know what I'm needing. You're a different kind of girl. You show up in your gleaming. You get my heart beating. That's part of my evening. You're a different kind of girl. You're my favorite kind of girl. You're my favorite kind of girl. Pearl. Thank you, guys.
Oh my god, that was amazing! Oh my god! I was screaming here. I was like, fuck yeah! You guys should have heard it.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was amazing. I'm so happy. That was a 24KBrownMagic. In the meantime, before he comes on, we're gonna do the bulletin board and then we're gonna have him on.
Hit it.
Thank you so much for the read, by the way.
Hit that song.
You're dancing though.
So good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, Silence, tell us everything about this week before we have AJ on.
All right, we have a crazy sweet week of releases here on the Music Exposed bulletin board. Way busier than last week, and happy music. It's actually like the most emo week we've had in a long time because it's a lot of super emotional, pulling on your heartstrings kind of things happening this week. So first and foremost, we have the new release from Middream. It's called Words of Prey. It is a banger. He released a new video for it this week too as well, which you can find from the link there, but it's with Middream in a collaboration with Angelica Trey called Words of Prey. You definitely want to check that out. And then right next to it, you've got Samuel Tucker Young with Whiskey Burns, his new single. Ooh. And again, as I said, all the feedback on it has been amazing. I thought it was an incredible song. You want to make sure that you get over and check that out. She Nova has a new release that's called By Myself, which is a new video that goes with that. So you want to make sure and you check that out. Pretty much everything she does is gold. And I'm just excited to be able to share when everyone does these new things. And then last but not least, we have something really interesting that happened this week. So a lot of people who follow CA and LA, who are pretty well-known music streamers here on Twitch, also are aware that they are also independent filmmakers. And they have been submitting an independent film that they've created to various film festivals and that kind of thing. And so though it's not music, it is a creation from the Twitch streaming and music community. So I'm really happy to share their independent film that's called Influencer, which is about the life of a streamer, the life of an influencer. And again, support them if you can, especially give their tweets a like and a share. Make sure you drop some likes and some comments on that video if you can. It really helps them with the festival process. And then, of course, please go check out the new releases from Mid-Dream and Angelica Trey, Samuel Tucker Young, She Nova, as well as the last month. A lot of people don't realize we leave up all the releases from the last month for you to go and listen to. So there's still tons of great music up there from Marigo, from Alice Little Alien, from Saoirse Music, from Megan Lenius to Blue Skies to Other Glow. There's so much good music up there. If you do not check out the Music Exposed bulletin board at musicexposed.show, then clearly you need to readjust your priorities. And that is the Music Exposed bulletin board.
Thank you so much, Silence. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for the resub. Moto Weasel, thank you. And also thank you for the raid, 24K. And now, guys, I present to you 24K Brown Magic.
Dang it, I tried to vape into the camera to poof.
Yeah.
Like, into the scene, but
yeah, you kind of.
Oh, wait, I think it worked.
I think it worked.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I tried.
You gotta rub him the right way.
So hello. How are you doing?
What's up, guys? How are you? I'm good. I'm good. I'm so
24K needs to jump in on this conversation.
Yeah,
I know he's been waiting. He's like, I got stuff to say.
I just want to because I feel like if we dwell on the topic too much, you know, it just people are like, all right, we get it. Like touring sucks, and it does, and it does. But there is a part of touring that myself and the other bands do like, and it's just it's being on that road, and knowing you're gonna get to that next destination and you're gonna meet some new faces, and then you're gonna be up there playing the songs that you've literally been playing for the last however long you were on tour. And it does get repetitive, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like when I play gigs, I'm playing gigs on the weekends, and I'm usually doing I'm not doing the same exact set, but I'm doing like the same rotation of songs mostly on the weekends. But to me, I'm like, man, like it sucks because like I'm doing the same songs and it gets kind of tiring. Like just you burn yourself out, but then you get that group of people that's like, oh my God, you just made my experience so much better.
Yes.
Oh my God, like I've been having a shitty week, and hearing you sing this song and this song, or just hearing you sing in general, I didn't like country music, but you just opened me up to a whole new, like it's stuff like that really, even though you put in like the 18 to 20 hours of pre-touring or pre-gigging or whatever it is, getting ready to set up for that 3 hours of music. Yeah. At the end of the day, the 18 hours sucks. The 3 hours is like, it's okay. I do this all the time. But then like that 5 minutes of conversation with somebody random who's just like, dude, that was the best experience I've had, or you just made my week, you made my year, and I can't wait to follow you. It totally negates that. And I think that's the part that Sarah was saying you love.
Or like that moment where like magic happens on stage, like. But
fuck everything else, though. All the other shit.
Fuck it all.
And to me, that's the point that I'm making, which is why I kept saying the language is important, because everyone will try to convince you that being a musician is a good job and that everything is great about it, and why should you complain about these things, and you get to entertain people all day. And part of that is because, again, I come from a family of professional musicians that all inevitably became teachers because of these types of things. Yeah. One of which was very successful, one of the most successful jazz artists here in the States. And he's incredibly successful and had to stop touring because of all the stuff that we're talking about, because he couldn't support his family doing it anymore. And this is an accomplished dude. There's just no money in it. So
there's really the money doesn't come until you're either doing that like all the time and you're okay with like working, you know, a burger flipping job until you go on tour for the next month or two, or you like your SoundCloud blows up and you're the next, you know, big hit on TikTok, and that like that's it, you know. And it's like that's just the way the industry's working right now. Is like you're either okay with like the mediocre side of it and you're still like sort of living your dream, or you're boom, you're the next biggest star. And then there's like guys like me who's just like, now I just play gigs on the weekends here in Arizona and I'm okay with it, like because I also have the stream to uphold, and you know, like the gigs pay. And I heard you guys talking about this earlier about how you don't accept, like, you know, you set your standard of what you want to get paid per night, and that's it, and like that's good, and that's the way I've done it. And like in Arizona, it's been years since I've even had to ask for a gig. So like if, the way I see it is, if they're coming to me, you know, then hey, pay my fee. That's it. You come to me, you pay my fee. And so like, but you know, I've been fortunate enough to do that for the most of the last 10 years, and so like there's that part that I'm okay with right now until like something bigger happens, because I am a singer-songwriter, so I want to write, and of course I want to tour the world, and I want everything, but it's like you got to put in the work, and that work can get really it can burn you out and make you feel like you're not good enough, especially if you're putting in so many hours of recording and writing, and just to like look at your song statistics after a month and go, wow, only 600 people listen to this. Like, you know, like that's it's hard. You know,
that's a good number. Only 50 people have listened to mine. So
I mean, but you know what I mean? Like you hype it up in your head, and you're like, oh, I can't wait for this to get thousands and thousands, right?
I
but
agree.
You know what I mean? And then like, I mean, there's songs that I put out like 3 years ago that barely even hit 500 listens.
I know,
like,
it's so crazy.
100%.
It's so
crazy.
I agree.
No, and I appreciate that. Let's talk. First of all, I do have to ask the question, then I'm gonna let Sarah go. How do you get away with that face auto tuning? Because damn, you sexy.
You know what? I've been learning about these deep fake things.
That's.
You know what deep faking is? Yeah.
I do.
So I just found a better looking Hawaiian looking guy than myself, and I just it works out.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
All right, Sarah, take it away.
And I really need to work on this mustache though, because it's starting to bug me, and it gets stuck in my microphone when I'm singing live. I guess I like to get close, and I'll pull back, and the mic's just like coming with me. I'm like, all right, this is not right.
It's very, you have a thick mustache. Like, what the hell?
You know what? I've been working on this for about the last 30 years. So
that's thick hair, dude. It's like,
hey, I'm pretty sure I have the thickest hair out of every Filipino that's on this earth.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, but 3 C's.
So I want to start. I mean, we don't have a lot of time, but one of the things that interests me, and I always want to know this, because most of the time, especially with streamers, a lot of people that watch them don't really know, or we don't really talk about these things because, you know, we just don't, you know, we just don't, because streaming and every day and whatever. So what are your biggest influences in music, and what was the moment in music, and what was one moment where you were like, oh fuck, I want to do this too?
I want to do this. You know, it's hard because like, okay, when somebody says who's your biggest influence in music, I just think John Mayer. Like I love John Mayer's music. I aspire to just like, I play the blue, like you'll get, you know, people who watch my stream, who watch when I do like the solos and stuff. I've basically just molded my playing after John Mayer, and you know, sprinkled in a little bit of this person, a little bit of that person to make my own style. But like John Mayer's like my biggest influence. But like as far as knowing that, like, okay, I want to do music, man, it's so hard because I'm such a and I say this a lot. People go, hey, do you know this artist? Like you play guitar, you obviously have to know this song. I am so bad when it comes to music.
Me too.
I'm terrible. I'm like, who? And they're like, come on, seriously, you don't know the Doors? And I'm like, no, I mean, like, I know of them. I have a few in my house, but like, I don't know how, like, any of their songs. So like, but I don't know. It's like influences. It's just like whoever I'm listening to at the time. And my music style is like so eclectic. Like I'll listen to one thing and I'm like, I want to write reggae music for the rest of my life until like I hear a really good pop punk song, and then I'm like, maybe I want to start a band.
Yes.
Like I have this weird music ADD thing, but like so my music taste is just all over the place. As far as knowing when I wanted to do music, I started playing the piano. I started playing the piano when I was just about to become a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
And I started writing music on the piano because of just growing up, I was just always like this like sad little kid, like I got picked on a lot, and the weight and stuff, and then I know growing up young, I didn't know what depression was, but like now that I look at it now, I realize that growing up I had a major mental health issue, and music was like the only escape I really had, and I was always a good writer. I mean, I always think I always got like really good grades on like essays and English and stuff, and writing and poems and whatnot. So I just started like applying like my poetry to music, and it became something much more. And we had like this big organ in the house, and I would just sit there and play like random stuff. I'd play random chords. I taught myself music theory, and I really like just sat down, and it was like like that scene from The Hangover where Zach Galifianakis is just thinking, and there's all like all the equations and shit, and he's like trying to figure out the whole poker thing. That was me, but like trying to figure out music. And when my mom gave me my first guitar, I applied everything I knew about the piano to the guitar, and then I just loved the guitar much more because one, I could carry it around with me, and two, I was like, this is totally gonna get me chicks. So like if like my personality is not gonna work,
we're all in love with you. I mean, come on.
I mean, hey, you know what? Hey, it's 2020. We're progressive now. I'll sing you a song. I'll sing you whatever song you want, baby. But like, I'm not kidding. People ask me, why'd you start doing music? And I'm like, to pick up women. Like, that's literally the only reason I did it. And now it's like it's become really like such an escape for me. Writing. If I'm going through something, immediately I'm like, I go into my head and I become like this vulnerable meat sack for like however long I'm in that real low mental health state, but I can just produce something. Like that last song that I played, Pearl, I was at a really dark point in my life, and I was really heavy into drugs, and people go, oh, that song's a love song. And like, yeah, it is, but it's not really about a girl, it's about a drug. And so like it's it's like stuff like that. Like it became an escape. So, and then when I realized that my music was touching people and they're going, wow, I can really relate to that, that's when I was like, maybe I can do something with it, so I that's what it was. It was just trying, it was that, but it was all like really early in high school. I mean, I know a lot of people start playing when they're like 6 years old, and they're like, I've been playing the piano since I was, I was 3 weeks old. And I'm like, all right, cool. But I started playing the guitar when I was a junior, but like at that time in my life is when, I had all these things going that are happening personally, and I wasn't dealing with it very well. And I'm not the kind of person that's like, hey, can I sit down and just talk to you about my feelings? I didn't really have that kind of, so the person I talked to was my guitar and to myself, and I just applied that. So whatever I was feeling, I throw it into a song, and then I record it on like a shitty phone or Audacity, and like one of those little like computers that or one of those little microphones that hangs off the side of your big desktop CRT monitor computer. And I just record like the shittiest versions of my songs, but at the end of the day, they were my songs, and it was something I created. And that's when people heard it, they're like, man, I feel that. And
it's amazing.
So it didn't, that's when it became a real thing for me.
So I've never really followed a lot of the talent show stuff, and the only reason I was aware of it was because of Sarah and other larger musicians who had experience with it. So how did maybe people might know the story, but I don't, and I'm sure a lot of people that listen don't. How did you initially get involved with the Austin show, formerly the Raj show? How did that all begin? Were you a participant? And then,
I always call him the artist formerly known as Raj Patel. Yeah, no, it's weird because I've always had this weird thing about me where it's like, if I know I can help grow something, I don't ask for anything in return. I just say, hey, let me help. Right. And when I before I even met him, I was just playing my guitar and singing on Twitch and stuff. And one night I was just doing my whole loop thing, and it was just random. And I think it was around the time that Austin started doing his talent shows. He was just starting to dive into doing talent shows, and he had not even a quarter of the viewership that he has now,
Yeah.
you know, at the time, but it was still big, and it was the biggest talent show on Twitch, and it was really early on, probably like the 6th show. And he came into my chat one time, and I remember it was like that week. I remember I heard about the talent show because I didn't know who he was. I'm not gonna lie, I never saw any of his streams. I didn't even know who the hell he was. And then like 2 weeks or two days before that, somebody was like, hey, you should get on this talent show. It's becoming a big thing. And I'm like, well, I've never heard of that guy. And then he popped up into my stream that night and was like, and didn't even say hi. He just goes, hey, want to be in my talent show? And I remembered that name. And I was like, oh shit, yeah. And like I ended up doing the talent show like 2 weeks later or something like that. And almost won. The winner was Halcyon, I want to say.
Okay.
Really?
And yeah, I know we all know who Halcyon was. But what's funny is that Halcyon is actually or maybe it wasn't Halcyon. It was this guy Texas Raw. And then I ended up going on the show again. Yeah, and he played Country Roads. And I remember because Greek God X was a judge, and he totally told chat, he was like, if he plays Country Roads, he's gonna win. And then he played Country Roads. Chat just followed.
I can't. That's amazing.
And I lost, and I was like, "Well, whatever. It's fine. It was fun. It was good exposure." And then the next week, he's like, "Hey, we're doing this all-star talent show where all the people who are like the biggest artists of the talent show are going to compete, and either winners." And he's like, "I really want you on this because I really like you." Like, Austin was really pushing, like, "Dude, like you got to be on this. Like, you're totally gonna win." And it was down to me and Halcyon that stream. And as funny as Halcyon, I grew up in the music scene here in Arizona with. So like since we were all young, they literally lived like 20 minutes from me.
Oh.
And we all knew each other. So when it came down to me and Halcyon, I was like, I cannot believe that my old music friends are now in the biggest like music competition on Twitch right now.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Against me, and we're the finalists. And it was like literally down to a percentage. And I ended up winning that one, and since that day, I just stayed in constant contact with him. So like being in his Discord, and I was like, hey, listen, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of the music streamers. I know that we don't want the talent show to just be music streamers, but let me try and use my connections to try and get more people on here. I don't care about being on a performer at this point. My whole thing was, if he has this platform where there's 8,000, 10,000 people at the time watching, why not let me try and get some of my friends who are music streamers on there, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of them agreed to it, but most of them are like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. And so yeah, that's just, ever since then, like I've just been really good friends with him. Now Austin and I have we have a good relationship. At one point last year, I went and stayed with him for a couple weeks, and during my birthday,
That's cool.
I don't do it very much anymore because I'm just kind of focusing on doing my own thing. And like I said, like the whole mental health thing, it's kind of hard to like want to be a producer of somebody else's thing when you can't even produce your own content. So I've been focusing on myself for like the last few months, and I haven't really done much. I think the last thing I did with him was like the talent show we did earlier this year. But even with that, even with the latest talent show, he asked me, hey, can you help get talent? And I was like, yeah, at first, but then I just found myself just spiraling down, and I was like, I can't be a part of this right now. Sorry, like I know you want my help, but you got a whole team behind you. I need to figure out my shit. So he completely understood. Yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome. I have a question, actually. I mean, this is going to be a little bit personal, but I'm pretty sure that chat will take something from this. I know that COVID was very hard for you. You couldn't play gigs, and you were very vocal about it on Twitter. So that's why obviously I'm talking about it, because you made it public.
Yeah. Oh no, I am very vocal on Twitter. Like if I get pissed off, I'll get pissed off, and I just go. And then I realized like a month later, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have posted that because it does not look good for me.
No, but how did you? I mean, you're doing a little bit better now. You're streaming again, you're gigging again. Yeah. How did you deal with those struggles? And what could you like, for anybody who's going through that right now? Could you tell them how you did that, or how you forced yourself to kind of get into a okay place, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
So COVID kind of hit a really unfortunate time, I think, for everybody, but it hit like really, like, I mean, me personally, it just hit me like a brick, because like I was playing gigs again, doing gigs on weekends. And luckily, the good thing is, luckily, I was living in a house with a bunch of other people, right? So, and the landlord was giving us the house for really cheap because her daughter used to live with us. So when they moved out, we kept the same amount of rent we were paying. So I'm like, I'm not kidding, we're paying $260 per room. So
that's amazing.
So like when COVID hit, the good thing was I wasn't paying anything crazy for rent.
Yeah.
In the utilities, because it's being split between so many people. The shitty thing was I was heavy into a relationship, and right before COVID hit, I asked the girl I was with to marry me, and she said yes, and we were already living together, and she had 2 beautiful little girls, and so like we got engaged. But now like COVID hit, and I'm like, now I'm thinking like, I'm not thinking for myself, I'm thinking for a family. I'm like, shit, now I got 2 girls I got to try and keep the food on the table for.
Yeah.
So I immediately was just like, everything I could do. If I needed to make, I needed to make money, I would go on stream and try and like sing for money or something like that. But I wasn't streaming like a lot because also COVID was really just making it really hard to be motivated. And also my gigs just ended abruptly. I lost out, I think, on like $3,000 before COVID even hit. So like, that money would have been really, really helpful. But I mean, like, it wasn't too bad to the point where like, because I knew I had this family and these little girls who like brightened my day, and unfortunately that relationship didn't work and ended two months ago, so that really put a damper on things. But I think that in the situation that I was in, I was really fortunate to have like roommates and people that
were there.
I wasn't like paying like this. Yeah, they were there, but I wasn't paying this like insane amount of money for a house and a family. But I mean, it did, like, again, feeding a family is completely different too. Like, there's a lot of money that goes, especially in 2 girls who are under 4 years old.
Yeah.
Like, they eat a lot. So
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. They got to eat every day. I mean, how does that work?
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
But I mean, like, I just had to stick to my just like what I know, and what I know is music, right? So like, even though I wasn't streaming as much because like, again, the relationship and being a stepfather and trying to just adjust to this new life, and then also adjust to this new life of COVID being around and not being able to work, I had to stick to what I know, and it's like music. So like, if I knew I needed something, I'd get on stream and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna grind until I make this bill or something, So I mean, I was fortunate for that. And then also like, it also helped out because Austin would be like, hey, he'd do it like last second, and it's always bugged me, but he'd be like, hey, can you open my show tomorrow? And it'd be like 11 o'clock at night the next day. And I'm like, that's less than 12 hours, dude. Like, but I'd get up and do it because I knew I needed to do what I needed to do to try and get as many people to see me. And then eventually, hopefully they'd be kind enough to say, oh, he needs help with this. All right, let's, but I mean, like, I hate to say, oh, I'm only streaming for the money, because at the end of the day, like I said, when we were talking earlier about the touring and stuff, streaming's not any different. Like, you put in all these hours to like make the stream look as beautiful as Sarah's made her stream look. And
thank you.
And you're entertaining people, and people are here to be entertained and here to listen to what you got to say, and they're here because you make them smile. And that's the same thing. It's like, I loved streaming all the time, because even if it were 12, 20, 100, 1,000 people, it doesn't matter what the number is. At the end of the day, when somebody goes, dude, you're my favorite person, or dude, you're, I can't wait every day to come see you. It's like, it's something much more, gratifying than knowing that somebody donated however X amount of money. You're walking away smiling because you made somebody smile, even when you feel like you can't make yourself smile, and that like 100%. Really gets things turning in your head.
100,000%. I agree with that so fucking much.
How did you handle being on this show then, where you were booked months in advance and we sent you the calendar and you had all the instructions? Like, were you just like, who are these people and what is wrong with them?
No. When you guys first made, because Silence, I remember you were, before you guys even asked me, I know Silence was in my stream a couple times, and then Sarah, obviously I had Sarah as like Sarah obviously has like been on my stream like as a judge, and she's been on like talent shows and stuff. So I've known you guys, so it's like, of course, you've helped me, and I don't even, because I am grateful that you guys are having me on the show, because I love being a part of something like this. Like, I love talking about things, and like I said, like let's get into the good stuff.
I'm going there. So I got the first drama question. Okay, I'm doing it. So have you ever had, since you're so closely connected to, we're calling him Austin, right? Because I know we keep going back and forth between.
Yeah, no, it's Austin now.
It's Austin. Yeah. So since you're friends with Austin and all that stuff, tell me if there are any stories of any music streamers or anybody else who is trying to go through you or like connect with you to maybe get on the show. Have you had any experiences where people get kind of cringy trying to do that stuff? Or is everybody generally pretty wholesome and nice? And I'm looking for some dirt. Have you ever had any stories of some weird stuff?
No, honestly, it's the other way around. It's me asking other people. It would be me asking other people and getting the, like, almost like just saltiest responses. And from like, and it's saltiest responses, but it's from some of like some of the streamers who are like, who put on this whole, like happy-go-lucky thing that a lot of people watch, and I'm not going to name any names, but like,
I agree.
It's just,
we talk about it a lot.
100%.
We talk about it a lot.
I'm not gonna say any names, but it's like, really, like that's really how you feel. Damn, tell me how you really feel. Like,
yeah,
like I'm you got to understand, I'm just the messenger. Why are you getting mad at me? You know, but because people weren't willing to put aside the fact that Austin, you know, you've seen his streams, you've seen his, some people have seen his streams. His chat can be extremely toxic, right? But when you got 40,000 people watching you, and you got only so many mods. I mean, he has a lot of mods, but when that chat's moving fast, you can't get everything, right? And they're sitting here going, I just don't want that to trickle into my community. And it's like, guess what? It's the internet.
Yeah, true.
It's gonna
Very
happen,
true.
Right?
I agree.
It's gonna happen. You gotta either learn how to take it, or you're not built for the shit, you know? And so that was one of the, I would never say that, but in my head, I'm like, why are you here then? Because the internet's not going to be this place that's all sunshine and rainbows.
Yes.
You're going to have people who come in here who are going to be like, hey, you suck. Or, hey, this stream sucks. And
fuck yeah. I love that.
Every day.
No, it's true.
You know, like I had, and you know, I used to be one of those streamers. I used to be the guy that was like, oh, guys, I hope you're smiling today. This is going to be such a good stream, and everybody get your cotton candy out because the unicorns are going to come flying across the screen, and we're all happy. And then I changed. Something changed in me where I was like, fuck this. This is so fucking fake. And I think especially on Twitter, can't stand streamers going, oh, I muted so-and-so because I just can't stand opinions that they have. And I'm like, holy shit, like, who is it? Because I'm following them, because that sounds like the fucking real person. Like, that sounds like somebody who is real, who isn't afraid to say what's on their fucking mind. And that's like, and that's what it was for me. Like, I eventually was just like, listen, they came to my stream. When people used to troll, I'd be like, mods, can we get rid of them, please? Now I'm just like, hold on. You want to, let's fucking go. I'm going to roast you till you can't be roasted anymore. Bye, bitch. You know, I go like, it's 20 minutes. And you know, like there's a I posted on my Twitter where I banned a troll literally last week who came in and was talking a bunch of shit and just being stupid. And I was literally at my gig and I pointed my camera down, and you see me pull my phone out, I look at their name, I ban them, and then I go straight into a real fucking fat solo because I was just like, I don't need your bitch ass here, and I don't give a fuck. So like, I literally was like, bye, bitch, and I roasted him for like 5 minutes and then went into a solo. And it's like, you gotta be real, right? You gotta be real. The internet is not all gonna be people just hyping you up. Every once in a while, you're gonna get some shitty people in your chat, and it's how you deal with it that's gonna make that just defines you. And so like every time I would come to these streamers, they'd be like, oh, I don't want that kind of stuff in my community, or you know, that I don't like watching a show because these dating shows are completely blah 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 this. I was like, listen, this is a talent show. I'm not asking you to feed into that. I'm asking you, hey, do you want to maybe have your chance to put yourself in front of tens of thousands of people and somebody hear your music for maybe a quarter of them to come to your stream and stay there? And there have been so many streamers who have really built. Mermaid Unicorn won a talent show and she blew the fuck up, and she thanked Austin on her Twitter for if it weren't for the chance that she had to be on the show, she wouldn't have been where she was. I mean, and that's not saying that she wouldn't have. She's so fucking talented.
Yeah.
She you know, it'll happen. Same thing with you know, FaZe Area, the last talent show that she was on. She went on. Now she's killing it, and before we even talked, she was saying how discouraged she was because she wasn't pulling these numbers and these numbers. She went on the talent show, and maybe there were people who didn't like her voice, but there were a lot of people who loved her and loved her voice, and now they're there every stream supporting her, and like. It's you got to put aside the toxicity, because no matter where you go, there's going to be toxic people. There're going to be kids who just think it's funny. It's always just one person. All it takes is just one freaking person, right? It takes one person to type something toxic, and then everybody else just wants to be seen. They might not even think that way. They just want to go along with the shit going on in chat. Right. And so like it was hard to get through to them. So like nobody ever came to me really. I would get people who come to me and go, hey, can I get on this show? Like they want to be on the podcast, and like, that's not me. Like I honestly don't really even have anything to do with the to do with the show, because I'm focusing on myself. But like I never really had anybody go, hey, can you get me on? I want to. And if they really wanted to be on, I'd be like, okay. Like I would get a couple people, but it was never a cringy, you know, meeting. It was just I'd get a couple people go, hey, can I be on the show? And I say, heck yeah, sure. You know, let's get you on, like, because everybody deserves to be heard, and that's why I think that's where I excelled, is like I wanted to help the music community. And so like I wasn't doing this for views. I wasn't doing this to try and put them on the spot and say, hey, like let's get you like you're totally gonna get screwed over in this. It was like, hey, I know you're grinding. This is a chance to show. You know?
Yeah, and I think Austin, like what a lot of, and I talked to Silence about this yesterday, because he was like, oh, I don't really get it, you know, and a lot of people, especially in the music community, say I don't really get it, and it's like, dude, like, yes, the chat is toxic, but Austin is actually a super good person, and he is giving his fucking platform for, like, if you like it or not. I don't watch the shows either. Like, I don't watch the dating shows and stuff. It's not my speed, but I know that Austin, I met Austin at a the 420 podcast from Casey Tron, and he was there too. And we were just talking, and he's such a chill, like, good person, and he's genuine. He's genuine, and he's offering his is he doing it with drama? Yeah, but that's what the people want. That's the industry. That's what people want to watch. Like, and it works. Obviously, he's proving that shit works. But it works. He made so many streamers. Like, he made so many streamers that are big, and I'm not even talking about music streamers. I'm talking about like the just chatting or like variety gaming streamers, and you know who I'm talking about, you know. And he made all of those streamers, and he does that. Like, in the end, his genuine Outshot, thank you so much for that raid. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. And in the end, that is his ultimate goal, is just making people and helping them. Yes, the chat is toxic. Yes, things are, you know, sometimes stupid because it's a drama show. That's normal. But that's just the name of the game, basically. And that's one of the things that I think people don't understand. But I'm pretty sure Silence has another drama question for you.
Hey, I went last, Sarah.
Oh, you went last?
Flow of the show.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, you were talking about Twitter. There's a lot of toxic people on Twitter. So, like, you and I, we have been in DMs about certain people where it's like, oh, this person's trying to start some drama with me.
Hey, tell me about your DMs about me, okay, guys? I know there's plenty. Well, I'm not even important enough for that.
Yeah, you know, the last time she was saying something about mayo, and now I'm just really uncomfortable about it.
It's just terrible.
But actually, I might even just go and buy like 3 tubs of mayo and just.
Hey, I'm with you. I understand.
I'm making what is it called? I'll make myself out of mayo for you. However you want. And then I'll actually shave my mustache off and put it on. Yeah, a mayo mold of myself.
Oh my god, I can't.
But I know what you're saying. I know what you're getting at with this. Yeah.
So, like, have you had beef? How did it work out? And how does it affect, like, because I feel like sometimes Twitter is obviously its own platform, and I always say this, like, use Twitter as its own platform and not as, oh, I'm going live. But it is a little bit of a different world. Has it ever, like, spilled to your stream, like when you had Twitter drama?
No, it hasn't really spilled to my stream. There were a couple times where I've had like what other influencers and I have had beefs. And it like the biggest one, and like the biggest one, and I can say it because it was super public. Yeah. And now we're cool on terms, but at the time we weren't. Was Mr. Wobbles. He's a beatboxer on YouTube.
Okay.
And And back when before I even got partnered, I was doing this thing on a game called Comedy Night. And Comedy Night was big because a lot of bigger streamers were playing it at first. It was supposed to be just for like comedy, right? Stand-up comedy. You got your own little avatar and you do this in front of like 13 other people who are sitting in the room, but people can watch too from the stream, obviously. But then it became like a music thing, so we're using it for music to like promote music and have people come up and do like an open mic kind of thing. And Mr. Wobbles came in, and he was obviously, he was recording for his own content, so he was being super like memey, and I didn't take to it very well because at the time I was about at the time I was like this whole happy-go-lucky streamer like I absolutely hate. So
yeah.
And so I banned him, and then he made it like a point because I had stopped his content that night because I wouldn't let him, and I banned him from the room, then I banned him from my stream. And so he made it a point to record my stream as I was going off on him, and then he made like a whole video out of it. But it actually got me more followers than I thought it would because he's really big on YouTube. He was really big on YouTube, but he's told like then we talked it out, and then we became friends, and now like we don't really talk, but like there was like a mutual agreement, like, hey, we're cool now. Like the Twitter beef is out now. The YouTube beef, like you did what you had to do. I said what I had to say. We're good now, and we're on good terms now. But I had that. I've had like, Twitter beefs with other Austin, some of the streamers that Austin made totally that I didn't like. And at this point, I was like, I was just I didn't give a damn what I said and care what the hell I said to offend anybody. Like I'm gonna speak my mind. So I definitely think that I won that one too, because there's just really not much you can say when somebody else is literally carrying you. Like you can't come at somebody else when literally somebody else is carrying you. So it was just like, I don't know. I stay out of Twitter beefs now mostly because I'm trying to really focus on like the positives of like what I have going for me. But when something is negative, I tend to get like, I tend to get really mad, and like I'll go to Twitter. Like my internet service provider is Cox Communications, and they suck. But they monopolize their area. So like my internet kind of dips so much when I'm streaming, and it always happens to be like when I start streaming or at a certain time. And I'll go on Twitter and I'll rant. And they followed me for the last 4 years. They actually just unfollowed me last week because I said that if they screw up my opening for Austin, I was gonna go to their headquarters and shit on their desks. And I tweeted that. and then I followed it up with, "You don't want me to do that. Believe me, I can poop." And I deleted it now. But I actually deleted it a couple days ago because I was like, maybe I shouldn't have that on my timeline if I'm trying to like get sponsorships and shit. But I was pissed. And people, I was like, listen, I will take it. And then it started fucking up like a couple days later before they unfollowed me. So I was like, fix my shit. And then I screenshot the tweet and I sent it to them, and I was like, I'm serious. And I think that's when they unfollowed me. Yeah. So I was very well known on Twitter for like bashing Cox Communications, and a couple of years ago actually I had them come out to the house, and it wasn't a tech, it was like a big supervisor for the actual company, and he goes, yeah, you're pretty well known in the offices for the things you say in the DMs. He goes, just do me a favor, next time call it in, don't talk to the DMs because it's like usually just a rep. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just pissed, like, and so yeah, I other than that I tend to stay out of Twitter drama. Yeah.
That is hilarious. I love it. So since you're talking about projects that you're working on right now, the first question I had is, I know it's been a couple of months, but you talked about some new things you were focused on, like the Melonatti thing. Is that still something that's happening?
Yeah, that's still something. Actually,
what are you working on?
Well, so I started that whole thing, right? And at the time I was like, I thought we were happy. So I was with my ex-fiance. Yeah. And everything kind of took a sharp turn when things started going south and she ended up leaving me. So I had to focus on trying to find a new place to live and getting out of the house and just really focus on myself. So like I haven't really put too much focus on the Melonatti shirt. That's still happening. I'm actually next week I'm meeting with the model who is going to be taking the final artwork picture. So I'm going to take a picture of her. But she's going to be taking the final artwork picture we have to get that whole We Are 24K/Melonatti design. That's like the last thing I need to do. But she was so cool. So I'm finally meeting with her next week. But she's like, she also does a bunch of other stuff. And so it was like really hard to try and get her to do it. But I really wanted her to do it. And so yeah, I'm finally meeting with her next week, and she actually just messaged me like right before we started this saying, hey, like this is when I'm available, let's make it happen.
Awesome.
So but I mean, other than that, like with COVID and me going through like a direct garment company, I ordered like samples of just some of the other We Are 24K shirts, and because of COVID, like I haven't got shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're just it's like everything is literally on slow production.
Very true. Yeah.
But I have like the designs that I have right now, I'm super excited for. Fatty Melon, of course, came through clutch with that. Fatty Melon's a really good guy. I met him I met him through other community members who are affiliated with Austin. So Fatty Melon really became a good friend, and just is a caring person. And Fatty Melon, I don't know how much they've donated now, but at one point a year ago they donated like 250,000 to streamers all over Twitch.
Wow,
and they're still just
that's
doing
crazy.
it. They're just
That
still doing
is
it. They're funding like a lot of like just really cool ideas for streams.
Yeah.
And earlier this year Fatty Melon funded my $2,400 talent show.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, that was really
awesome.
really cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
But yeah, so I have actually a question that still goes into like the whole, I don't know, drama thing. So do you have any thoughts on I'm not gonna name any names because I don't even know if that's, okay. But there has been a recent ban that has like a lot of claims, about the whole like community and everybody involved with the whole like Austin thing. And, do you know what I'm talking about?
Are we talking about a former producer?
Yeah. And
Yes.
who
Yes, we are.
It's
do you have any?
honestly,
I
it's
watched
one of those
that
things that I've
I watched.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I don't watch a lot of streams, and I really don't. And lately, the only streams I have been watching are Grand Theft Auto role-playing streams, because I've been doing GTA RP a lot, and I'm getting really into that.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll watch them to just see to learn and try and get into their community. So, like, those are really the only ones I usually watch, other than like a couple friends who I'll just lurk. I don't really like talk in streams and stuff. That whole thing, it's just, I don't know. I stay out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, because I'm not even though I do help in some cases, I don't really like over the last few months, especially since before like COVID started. Even when I started dating that girl, I just wasn't doing anything really for Austin, other than I'll just open the show. He just hits me up and says, hey, do you want to open the show? Everything else, it's not my business. So yeah, stay out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's good though. I also tried to stay out, but I hear a lot, because people DM me.
Yeah.
But like it's interesting because a lot of people DM me and tell me their piece, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, I've had a couple people ask me too, and I'm like, hey, honestly, that's between them, and I just need to. Like that's them. And like though it is interesting to see on Twitter and stuff, at the end of the day, it's like I'm already like kind of in a place right now mentally where like I just don't need to deal with any more shit except my own shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I have a question speaking to that. So what do you think is different? Because as somebody that plays a lot of gigs and probably is exposed to other musicians and people in a local community, what do you think is different about musicians or people that you meet in your local scene in Arizona versus the Twitch music community? And like, what are some good things or bad things about the two? So if you were to say like the people I met in real life versus the people I met online.
So like everybody has like this kind of everybody has this aspiration that they want to go somewhere with what they're doing, right? So like you really think about it, like streamers and then like local musicians who are trying to become worldwide musicians, there's not really a difference because you're each putting in so much amount of time for a dream, really. But I think it's hard to say, but like I think that like the local musicians that I know, they complain because they're stuck, they're not doing anything right now, and it's like, hey, have you heard of Twitch? Like I mean, even if you don't become super successful on there, you have a chance. And this is like something that I look at, and when I speak to people and they go, hey, what do you do for a living? When I'm talking to people at my gigs, what do you do for a living? You just do gigs? Like, well, I'm on this thing Twitch. Like, what's Twitch? And that I hate that question because then I gotta go into like, oh, so you just play video games? Like, no, I don't just play video games. I mean, yes, I do, but like also like I'm playing and other people are being exposed to my music and they're being exposed to like my entertainment. But it's not just people sitting in their like in Arizona. They're literally all over the world. Like Twitch has given me so many opportunities to travel, to go overseas many times, to meet all kinds of people that like TwitchCon, you go through the whole year meeting all these new people. And then you're at TwitchCon for 2 days, and like those 2 days, you're finally putting a face to all those names.
Yeah.
And like I have some friends too who are famous musicians who are now using Twitch as a platform to reach out because they can't gig, they can't tour. People like in Asking Alexandria, bands like I Set to Kill, bands like Nothing More, who are now streaming, who are friends of mine, personal friends of mine, and they're using that platform now to connect with their fans. And it's not any different than what Logic did, like Logic was like, I'm not going to tour whatever, retirement, whatever publicity stunt that it was, but using it to grow Twitch, and not only that, but interact with their fans. It's like, hey, maybe you guys should try interacting with people. You want to put your put your face to something, like, hey, show that you're still doing something. So why not try this? It doesn't even have to be Twitch. It could be Facebook. It could be YouTube, whatever it is. Like, try a platform and bring yourself to that platform so that you can interact with the people who supported you all this time. If you're worried about not having engagement anymore, do something about it.
Exactly.
And so
agree.
A lot of these these people, they're stuck in like this, and they don't want to, they still have this dream of like, oh, like I can't wait for quarantine to end so that I can go on tour again. It was like, hey, you don't have to wait. You got a chance to build your audience even more,
Or there's always, as Lord of Entropy says in chat, there's always OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Tell them
Only
about
farmers.
They don't want to do Twitch.
Always only farmers, where we can show.
Were you gonna ask a question, Sarah? Was that next?
Overtime.
Oh
yeah, overtime. Okay, it's an overtime question. Sorry. So I actually. This is really interesting to me because as you know, before Twitch, I was a full-time just gigging musician. I didn't even teach, so that I that's why I'm saying
humble brag.
That's why I said to silence. That's why I said to silence. Like I was very, very lucky, but this is one of the things that interests me the most about musicians who have also toured and gigged and all of that. How would you compare being on stage and being on stream, like, and not only the experience but also how people react, etc., and just
nothing here, when you're on stream, you're still entertaining and people are still like, oh, like this is so cool, and you do it for however long, whether it's 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, 16 hours. Some streamers go 24 and plus, right? But there's nothing more just fulfilling than being on a stage for 20 freaking minutes and hearing the crowd clap, hearing and feeling that energy. Like, I miss that. I miss when I would be in a band, then we were like writing music and we're playing all these big shows and headlining, co-headlining, direct supporting, and blah 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 blah, but we'd only have 25 minutes to do it, right? And like everything else leading up to that was like, oh, like practice again. Like, okay, like we played this last night. But like you get up on that stage for 25 minutes and everything else is just, you forget about it, right? Whereas like Twitch, you do whatever you do for however long you do it, or sometimes you're just on there just mindlessly playing video games or mindlessly just singing songs. And oh, look, like the time's holy crap, we've already been live for 6 hours. Oh, might as well end, or might as well keep going, whatever it is. But like when you're when you're on stage for 25 minutes and you do that, it's like there's like this good feeling of like, damn, it's adrenaline. You don't get that same adrenaline from streaming. Like, I just feel like the energy that you get from human beings being in front of you when you're on a stage that's 4 feet, 5 feet off the ground, and the energy that you get from those people who are just there with their hands up or clapping, or you see their faces. That's another thing. Seeing their faces and seeing how your music is affecting them is like, that's something that I will never forget, and that I miss a lot. Like, I miss it. And even like I'm playing gigs, like I'll play gigs for 2-3 hours, but I'm just the background music guy at this point, and something like every once in a while I'll get like like last night, my gig went off and people were like dancing hype, and that really brings a different side of me.
When people start to dance,
oh, let's go! You start dancing,
yeah,
and I start dancing too, and I'm like, then I start having fun because there's the energy. When you see a bunch of words typing, there's not, there's nothing against the viewers, but like, there's not like, you don't see exactly how much you're affecting them. You really got to rely on, hey, like mentally you got to put in your head, hey, like maybe I should get more hype, because they're obviously saying, I'm dancing awesome, in my kitchen right now. This is awesome. I'm dancing with my grandma, like something like that.
I find that to be helpful, because a lot of people in my chat, I play mostly original music, so a lot of people in my chat will type the lyrics back at me or something.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Stuff like that is, I agree. It's not the equivalent of being in front of somebody or being on a stage.
But it's like, it's so similar.
It
helps. It gets you in that, because what, and like, I encourage, if you were watching your favorite music streamer, tell them, like, hey, like paint a picture for them, because right now they're painting a picture for you. Paint a picture back to them. Say, hey, like me and my grandma are making pumpkin pie right now, and she's dancing and her wig fell off, but she's headbanging to your music.
Yes.
Right now. Give them, paint some shit for them, so that that they're like, oh, like that. It helps. It really 100%. Does help. And I mean, like, keep like, because right now, like as musicians and as somebody who was so used to being on stage for a living, it's, I'm so stuck in that way of like I'm still adjusting, and no matter what, you're still going to adjust. There's like, even though you got human beings typing behind the screen, you're so used to performing and seeing those faces and picking up on the energy, and that energy builds you up and makes you want to be even better for the rest of the 18 minutes you're on stage. So like, that's, I feel like that's the big difference for like musicians
and
on Twitch.
That's also and this is gonna go back to our original topic. By the way, Warrior, thank you so much for gifting that sub to Lord of Entropy.
Is this another question, Sarah? Wait, is this another question?
No, it's not a question. No, it's not a question. It's me
banging their grandma.
It's me kind of just all the grandmas. But this is like why it's worth it. Like all this bullshit you have to deal with as a musician and as a touring musician, and that's why I said that's why the job is fun. And you were like, in silence was like, oh, but most of your day is just shit. Yes, but it's those 20 fucking minutes that make it worth it. It's that moment, like, I remember my biggest like music moment where like a fucking whole fucking church, I played at a church, and this church, like 200 people at the end of our show gave us a standing ovation. Like they stood all up and fucking clapped and we're like, woo, and shit like that. And that is exactly why this is a fun job. And you put up with fucking assholes and venuers who don't want to pay you, who want to treat you like shit and all of that. That is why the job is still fun. And that is a thing that is not explainable to like anybody who never had like the band experience on stage with like a bunch of people and stuff like that. So I understand if it's not understandable, but that is the moment.
It is understandable. I just don't agree with you. That's all I'm saying. So that's I'm fine, and that's fine. That we don't have to agree on every topic. That's fine.
No, I just, like you said, everything leading up to that, even some people do have fun with it. Some people that like that's their life. Like they're like, fuck, like I love band practice. I'm with my boys or my girls, and they're like, let's sit on this song and just solo. Like I remember being in my band, like I hated band practice, but there was a couple times where we just fuck around and we'd be playing and we'd be on the same song. We'd be on the same song in a bridge section for like an hour, just me just doing a solo and everybody's jamming out. Like, you have fun. Of course, it's not like the internet. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's times where you're fighting with your band, you're arguing, you guys are drunk and pushing each other, but like somebody's throwing fists. And then you make it up. You make it up and you're like, hey, dude, I'm sorry, bro. Like, yeah, whatever, that's fine, like, and then the next day you guys made up and it's like it never happened. And then, and then you got the unfortunate circumstances where it still is somebody's holding a grudge, bands, it's it's life.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's just life. It's the way you deal with it. It's the way you handle it that really defines like who you are as an artist, as a musician.
100%
So
agree.
100%.
Well, and for me, it's more about, I don't feel like, I get upset when people that I love and care about accept shit they don't have to accept. And they say, well, that's just the way it is. And that's just the nature of the business. And that's just the job. And it's like, well, why is it that way? And who's making it that way? And yes, I think more musicians should have the opportunity to have that 20 minutes or that hour to be able to play their sets and do those things. And so for me, that's why I get so passionate about that point. But at the same time, because I think that, yes, that 20 minutes that you do is a life-changing thing. You'll never have anything else like it to have that. You have to work your way up to it. But I totally agree that's a life-changing thing.
Hey, by the way, I want to answer the, hey, Sasuke, listen, we are fucking superstars. Just shut the fuck up. Every single one of us is a fucking superstar. Do you understand?
Hey, you gotta fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
That's one thing that I've learned. That's one thing that I've learned about the music business, right? Is nobody's gonna take you seriously if you don't take yourself seriously.
Exactly, 100,000%.
And
totally agree.
like when I first started becoming a musician, I didn't know what was a good pay at the time. I didn't know what being paid good was. I just knew that like when I was like, wow, you're gonna give me money so I can play my guitar. Oh hell yeah! Like I'll play this place. But that I learned real fast. I'm like, damn, I'm getting ripped off because I'm playing 4 hours for $150. Hell no. Then I got offered 3 hours for $200. Then I got to the point where I was like, after a couple months, like people were like, oh, there's this kid AJ who's going around town like tearing it up with this loop pedal and something different we haven't seen before. And then I started having restaurants come to me and go, hey, what's your price? And I'm like, well, you're at like, okay, well, it's time to take myself seriously, and then there are times when you should act like a superstar, and there are times where that doesn't fly.
100%.
You learn, like when you're talking to people who are sitting here acting, who are like, oh my God, I love you. Don't be a superstar then. Be a person.
100%. Yes.
Yes.
But when you got fucking venue owners who got cash drawers full of cash that a lot of that should be going to you, be a fucking superstar and say, hey, like I came here, I brought these people here. People are going to come back because I came here. Like give me my fucking money,
Yes.
Like, or I'm not coming back. Like you gotta be, you got to know your worth, and you got to take yourself seriously before anybody takes yourself seriously.
And that's what's so important. That's why I try to talk about these issues. And I mean, of course, Sarah and I are in agreement. We're just troll assholes on the show. Like, that's our shtick. We're troll assholes on the show. Yeah. But the
in
truth
real life
is, that's
too,
why
by the way. Sorry.
It's true. Plunger dick. So the thing is that I just know that a lot of people that play music on Twitch and a lot of people that watch the show are newbie Twitch music streamers. They're people that don't have experience in the music industry. They're people that don't know how these things work. Like me talking about this, and I think I'm at amateur to novice level understanding of it because I've researched it and I have family and friends who do it. But most people, when I was having that discussion, and even when we're having that discussion today, don't have any idea how the ins and outs of this stuff work, which is why it's so important to have a platform to talk about it.
And just say,
the people don't know.
I mean, like, be a superstar, but no, I don't want to say know your place, but know that
know your place, bitch.
Basically, right? Like, if you've never performed in front of a group of people, I'm telling you, the energy is different.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's not easy. It's different when somebody is sitting here going, "Hey, you're awesome," or "Hey, you suck" on a screen. When somebody says that shit to you in your face. Yeah. And I've had people go, "Dude, I didn't like this." And I'm like, and you just got to suck it up and go, hey, they fucking didn't like it. Maybe I sucked. Or you take it and you go, well, that sucks. You didn't like it because I had a fucking blast doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's just how you handle it. But there's the dynamic is so different. And I think that's why I thrived. Or not thrive, but when I first started on stream, I think that's why I was able to grow quickly as a musician 4 years ago on here on Twitch, was because I already had the experience of performing in front of people.
Yeah.
So I kind of just applied that to Twitch, where like people who don't have the experience and they're like, hey, this is my first time ever doing anything with music on stream. And then they grow and they become that. It was like, okay. And like, that's great. Like you're successful there. And I hope that one day you're able to, when everything is over and this COVID shit starts to die down, or it may never ever die down. But when you have that opportunity, don't let it, just don't let it discourage you, because there's always gonna be people who have an opinion of you, and the opinion always does suck when the person is like saying it straight to your face. Hey, dude, it's just like you're hearing words.
That's why my biggest advice always to like new musicians or people who start gigging or start doing it even full time, is take everything with a grain of salt. It doesn't matter what feedback it is. It doesn't matter if it's you suck, you play the same shit over and over again, or I love you, you're awesome, you're amazing, oh my God, you're the best thing ever. Take everything with a grain of salt. Or
take it, or I mean, don't take it like, take it as like, hey, I'm going to get better. I'm going to like next time they come, I'm going to be better than what they enjoyed last time.
Right.
Yes.
I'm going to blow their fucking minds. Right. But like, you're right. Like, take it with a grain of salt. Somebody comes up and goes, dude, that is terrible. Like, you got to instill in your mind that that's one person out of billions of people in the world.
Yep.
That's one opinion out of the billions of opinions. And it would suck to have all those billions of opinions actually absolutely hate you. But like, you know, you gotta, it's just until you get to the point where you are putting yourself out there, you just gotta fake it till you make it. Take yourself seriously.
Yes.
You know, be serious about it. If you want to be a superstar, act like a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
You know? This whole like 24K thing, like I took that so seriously. I walked around, I had a gold chain, a gold ring, gold watch. My license plate cover was gold. I was all in this, right? But I'm 24K. Like, I got to get in that mindset, and that mindset now sticks with me, because like that's why I started We Are 24K, is because 24 karat gold is the purest form of gold there is. That's the kind of gold that shines. Right? There's nothing else that taints that gold. 24 karat gold is the purest form of gold. So if you put yourself in that mindset, you be the purest form of yourself, you take yourself seriously, people are going to see that shit.
Exactly.
And that's going to rub off on somebody. And they're going to say, and you can go around and go, hey, you know what? You can say I suck, but I don't think I suck.
Yeah.
So your opinion's nothing to me.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
I'm
the way you
not
gotta
a bitch, you're a bitch, bitch.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like you said, don't be an asshole either, you know? Do that.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
And like you said, do it in the right moments and try to.
Did you just say, wait, did Sarah Jazz just say the words "don't be an asshole"?
No, I mean,
you guys should just leave this stream now.
I mean, we all know I'm always an asshole. I'm saying this as an asshole, okay? Just shut the fuck up. So obviously, like AJ said, it's with you learn with the time which moments are the right moments to be a superstar and be like, I'm the fucking shit, and the times where you're like, you know, I'm
Maybe
humble.
I should hold back.
Yeah, I'm gonna
be humble.
Yeah, be humble. Just be kind always. This is the thing. Be a rock star where you have to be a rock star, and where it makes sense to be a rock star.
I'll tell you what, I've been around a lot of people who are actually legit rock stars, right?
Yeah.
And it turns me off when I'm not even fanboying. I'm not coming up and going, oh my God, you're my, you know, like I've watched you since I was blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm just going, hey, how's your day? And they're just like, oh, good. All right. I'm going to go back to it. Like, you're not worthy of my time.
That's terrible.
You know, that's like, that. Don't be that superstar. Be the superstar that's like, holy, like, hey, yeah, let's talk. Let's like, you know, like when I say be a superstar, I mean, be a superstar that's going to benefit yourself.
Yes.
You want to benefit you. And that means like, take yourself seriously. When somebody asks you want to do a gig, you fucking put your foot down and say, well, this is what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you be a superstar then, because they're going to see that and go, wow, this person's serious. This person is a star. They're going to be, they want to be something. So let's like, you know, they want to benefit themselves.
Yeah.
And, but you're not going to benefit yourself if you're acting like a superstar in front of like people who love you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
so I want to respect your time, 24K. You have a gig you have to go to, right?
Actually, I would just put my shoes on right now.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, I know we gotta anything else that you want to say to the people that watch this or listen on the podcast before we wrap up?
I mean, if there are musicians, people who want to do music on Twitch, do it. Don't worry. You know, just practice. Or, you know, like everybody starts somewhere, right? And if people who are established musicians on Twitch, like, I know that it scares you, but if somebody approaches you, they might have, you know, it might not even just be Austin. Maybe somebody else decides they want to do a talent show and they've got 100,000 viewers watching them, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't worry about what the chat's like. Just do it, because that's a chance for you to perform in front of that many people. And you got to think, even 8,000 when I first started doing that show, and he was only getting 6,000 to 8,000. That doesn't look like a lot compared to what he's getting now. But I've played in front of 5,000 people, and that's a lot of bodies in a room.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think 8,000, you think 40,000. That's an arena. That's MGM Grand. That's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
These are Super Bowl numbers right now, right? And that's just and for you to get even a percentage of that to come and support you it's just like, don't, like, the people who love you. Yeah, maybe you might get a couple people who trickle in just to say something mean, but you can get rid of those people. People who love you are going to stick around, and I learned that the people who love you are going to stick around. So, just dive into it. Like, that's one thing that I wish I could have done better, and I try and keep in my mind that if I'm giving an opportunity, I'm going to jump into it, because when I was younger, I was afraid. And I was afraid of the backlash. I was afraid of something not going the right way. But being afraid doesn't get you, doesn't get your dreams accomplished. So,
I love that.
Be afraid and do it anyway.
Be afraid and do it anyway, because what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Right? It's nothing.
The worst that could happen, 24K, I can tell you the worst that would happen. You can end up on a talk show with Sarah Jazz and the
Oh, what am I doing with my life? No, it's kidding.
Don't get there, kids. Don't do it, kids.
Don't never be on Music Exposed. Keep yourself away. 24K, you are fucking amazing and inspiring and sexy AF.
I love you so much. You have no idea how much I love you. You're so awesome. Like, as a person,
awesome.
as a musician, as, like, you're inspiring. I'm so happy that you agreed to be on today. Like, legit. Thank you so much.
I mean, like, I really wish I didn't have a time constraint, because I can sit here and actually spill some. Maybe if you guys want to bring me back.
We'll have you back.
We'll have you back.
Bring me back, because I'd love to actually spill some more tea and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I know we didn't really get too in depth, because again, there's like, you can't really say names of people, but like you want to.
That's right.
But but I mean, again, like, if I didn't have this time constraint, I didn't have to leave for my gig right now.
No, you're good.
It's 420 Blaze It. Then I would be sitting here and we just go all night.
Yes.
But again, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. Have a great gig.
Everyone go follow 24K Brown Magic.
All right, bye guys. I love you. Okay,
Take it easy.
Bye.
Take it easy.
That was so fucking awesome. I love that. That was amazing. I'm so happy. I'm so happy it was on. That was great. I love him. I love him. And I was like screaming here in my studio while it was performing. I was like, yes, fuck yeah, give it to us. And the chat was so horny.
Yeah,
the chat was so horny.
Fuck yeah.
The chat was so fucking horny.
That's what I scream at music I like too.
Yeah.
When I'm in the background, I do it that.
Yeah. But I obviously, because Ninja is saying he's a great guy. Yeah, I know. I met him actually at both TwitchCon and saw him perform even, and he's just an amazing person.
I met him. I'm so.
Oh my God! You were turning him on too. Look,
I support these salt mine hard workers
because
they are
that
also
I made
Twitch musicians.
Sweet love to the Mayo Bus. Oh my God! Thanks, Codeword.
Obrigada. I support these salt mine hard.
And at the end of the day, I hate that I have to do the disclaimer, but I always do it because it's like, look, we all talk about these issues and they get heated sometimes. And for the purpose of entertainment, we are certainly not going to sit around and talk about these things like it's fucking NPR. We're going to have a real conversation. Yeah. We're going to come in hot sometimes, and that's just how it is. So keep that in mind whenever we're talking about issues on the show, that it's about the entertainment, friends.
Yeah, thank you so much, AJ. Mwah, all the love to you. I love you. You're amazing. 24. You're legit amazing. Well, I think it's time. We're over time again. We're always over time. It's interesting. I
know, but the funny part about this is that you're the one that enforces the time constraint, not me.
Yeah.
You're the one that's all like, you need to be this, and then. But for those of you who get to know Sarah, you just realize she's late to everything all the time. It's just how she is.
That's not true. I'm not late to everything. I was
triggered.
Listen, my dad used to legit punish me for being late like 2 minutes or something.
well, someone needs to start punishing you now because you're late to everything all the time, and that's how it works.
Wow.
That's fine. You'll accept it.
No,
And listen,
I won't
chat.
accept it. I'm the daddy of your dreams, guys. I will punish all of you if you even touch me. Do you understand? And he left. Okay. Well, everybody, please go follow 24K Brown Magic. And also,
Dad Jazz for the win.
And also, please go follow also The Silence Noise. He's fucking amazing. He just came out with an EP, and he is fucking great. And I love him too, although he's an asshole. But guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming in onto this conversation and performance and all of that. This show is stupid. I'm gonna ban you, Silence. Well, now I'm gonna please stick around so we can give some love to another streamer and we can raid a music streamer now. So please stick around for that. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Next week, I believe, is Darth Rips, our next guest. And I'm very, very excited. Other than that, tomorrow I will be probably streaming and starting our Batman Arkham Asylum and obviously doing some music and stuff like that. You know it. And if you're not interested in my streams because you're stupid, then... Then I will be back on Saturday with Silence Noise and Darth Ribs with another episode of Music Exposed, as always, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for being here, and lots of love to you. Bye.